what's on your wrist, a plain Jane.
The following video is broadcasting live, and thank you for being my studio audience. Thank you for hitting thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more Black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. What up and welcome back. It's your girl Jane, the plainest Jane, and we got some syrup to get into. Happy Friday, okay? We made it through another week, and shout out to all of our beautiful answers, okay? Stickies, come on in, have a seat on my bus, okay? Pay your fare, it's free, hit the thumbs up button. Tonight's video, we got two co-hosts, okay? I'm gonna get to this furry co-host in a second, but we have another co-host that's gonna drop in, and I'm really excited about that. So make sure that, again, pay your fare because it's free to donate to this channel, right? You can donate a thumbs up. It's very simple, okay? It's very budget friendly and cost efficient to hit the thumbs up button. But if you want to take it a little step further, just know that it is appreciated. It's not required. The Cash App is right here on the screen. And you can send a super chat or a super thanks if you're chasing the bus and you missed it live in real time. What are y'all having for dinner? I ain't had dinner yet. It's not 10 o'clock yet. I haven't had dinner. Y'all know if I eat dinner before I come talk to y'all, I'm going to have the itis and I'm not even going to be able to make the live. So I be starving myself before I go live just to make sure I can give y'all a quality show and that I'm upbeat and I'm here. Because, baby, I get the itis at least twice a day, okay? Oh, it's too much for you, Leo? Well, I mean, if you want your payment, you won't have to get back up here. You know, Leo acting funny. Look, y'all know things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life, right? Everybody is talking about Will Smith. This evening, I have some thoughts. We're going to go over his apology, and I want to know what you think. I want to know what you think about it. Should he have left it there? Should he have just not said anything? Did he make it worse? Did he give people new things to pick at? Did he breathe life back into the slap again? I want to hear from y'all, okay? I also have some updates on the flashy pastor. We're going to get into his chronological criminal timeline, okay? So we've got more transgressions we're going to get into as it pertains to the flashy pastor that we've been talking about for the last couple of days, right? I told you straight off front with some of my other coverage, I'm not buying the robbery in Brooklyn, New York. I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it. I have my reasons. I can't wait for my other co-hosts to get here because they have some thoughts. It was a press conference that happened today, and I'm anxious to know what they think. And I think y'all will really enjoy this co-host too. We got Wendy Williams to talk about some information about her brother allegedly blacking out on her son. Okay, information about her son. And then some addiction blame. We know Wendy Williams has pretty much been very forthcoming and transparent as it pertains to her addiction issues. It's really something she hasn't been able to hide, right? But there's some blame being placed in different places. I want to know how y'all feel about that as well. Obviously, I'll tell you how I feel. We got some information about Chick-fil-A that may make you think twice about working there, okay? And we've got more Black news that we're going to be getting into this evening. This is the Black News Bus. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all know that the Black News Bus is a social media stroll where we take a peek inside of the celebrity world. We give some celebrity and entertainment updates, but we also talk about things that are happening in the real world and stuff that affects everyday people like you and me, okay? So make sure y'all hit thumbs up, have a seat on the bus. Let's get into this. Drop what you're having for dinner and some pancakes in the chat. And let's go ahead and get started, shall we?
The plainest Jane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some Black, and she said, loves me some Black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
Now, real quick, I hope that y'all mental health is intact. Y'all know I touch on mental health in the beginning of every video because it's really important to me. Make sure you've tapped into your own invisible problems, your own spiritual warfare before you get to dibbling and dabbling and being nosy into everything else that's going on in the world. Shout out to my new subscribers. Thank you for 10,000 subscribers. That means so much to me, okay? And of course, before I get into breaking down today's viral events and topics, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and thumbs up or down, either way, I appreciate it. But make sure you think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. Now, let's get into my co-hosts for this evening. Let's start with this this black brother right next to me. Leo, are you ready for your payment? Right? Because you thought you was going to duck out, but you're not going to get paid if you know. Okay. All right. Okay. You get your half here. You get the other half on the back end. All right. Let the people see you for a little bit. They think you cute. Look, the people right there. Yep. All right. That's it. There's not another treat under my fingernail. It's done. All right. Your time is over. Can you get down, please? Somebody send a cash app so we can get him a new collar because this is out of control. All right, Leo, come on, get down. You cute and everything. Can you get down, please? Can you get down? Thank you. Move that tail. Thank you. We got his sassy, moody, nasty self out the way. Okay? We got our other co-hosts in the building, but without further, in case there's anybody new here who doesn't understand my first co-host, here he is. Leo, get down. Get down. It's not a thank you, because it's not a question. Somebody in the chat said I thought the collar was feathers. It looked like it, don't it? He ruins every collar he gets. But the collar, it really does help him to act and be more tamed. Okay? Let's get into our next co-host. I'm really excited about this. Okay? We've got Jaded Nerd here. Jaded, what's going on?
Hey, how's everybody doing? Thank you, Jane. You've been real supportive. I'm really glad to be here. I'm really glad that the shots I hit didn't hit me too hard, and I'm still sitting up. So let's get into all this black news and thank you, everybody. I'm really happy to be here, honestly. Thank you so much.
We are happy to have you, and the shots ain't hit you too hard. We want to get into, that's why this is probably going to be one of them videos that don't have a green dollar sign. It's probably going to have a yellow dollar sign, which means YouTube ain't going to hardly pay anything for it. That's why I'm shameless about really telling people when we're giving some more like raw and uncut commentary, hit the Cash App. My Cash App is on the screen. Jaded's Cash App is on the screen. It's appreciated, not required. Okay. At the very least, hit thumbs up. But here's what I want to say before we get into talking about these topics. Make sure you subscribe to Jaded Nerd. Now, I've linked his profile down below in the comments. You'll see the very first blue link that you see in the description box is Jaded Nerd. It'll say @Jaded Nerd. You click on it, it'll take you to his profile. Make sure you subscribe. And if and when you do, when you're checking his stuff out, make sure you drop some pancakes and let him know who sent you. Okay. He's also a very thorough content creator. And I really enjoy his morning show. He has a morning show he does because he's very dedicated. I wish I could get up there early in the morning, at least to do a morning show. I get up to clock in at my regular job, child. And I'm not to say I'm not friendly to be around in the morning, but it takes a lot to get up in the morning and to create content that early live. Oh, baby, it's a skill. So hats off to you. And look, the support between you and I, it's mutual. I support you because I've always seen the value, the dedication, and the quality in your content. And that's definitely mutual. And you've expressed that on numerous occasions. So I appreciate the support. It definitely goes both ways, Jaded.
Well, I'm here for it. You didn't say you was bringing friends, Jane. I see 3 people over there, ma'am. Okay.
I said, look, it's Friday night. This is Friday night show. We gonna give it to him like we gonna give it to him.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bring friends. Okay.
It's Friday night. We gotta get cute. Y'all lucky I ain't had time to put on no eyeshadow, okay? But it's Friday night. I ain't going out. I'm staying in, but I can look like I'm going out over here. And that's what's going on.
With the monkey, yeah. But let me just say, congratulations on 10K, because I know what you've been through and you've been working. So congratulations.
I have been working, and look, I appreciate that. And honestly, the both of us, we have both really been working. So it's lit. It's lit. We appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to Jaded Nerd, everybody. If you haven't already, I'll probably post his channel link on the community tab sometime tomorrow when I think of a way to put it there. I'm really picky about my community tab and how I put things up because I hate not proofreading or whatever the case is. So let's get right into it, right?
Absolutely.
Let's get started. We're going to talk about this flashy pastor. You
Mm,
saw the press conference, right,
yes.
Jaded?
Yes, I
What were your
did.
thoughts?
Ooh. Well, first of all, I'm gonna be real with you. You and everybody. I was frustrated because I couldn't find it. Typically, you type in a name, you Google it, you search here, stuff pops up. I couldn't find it. Okay. So then I
Mm-hmm.
had to come back to YouTube, and luckily somebody on YouTube had a good portion of it.
Okay.
I ain't even know it was an app. Okay, pardon my
Look,
grammatical errors.
look, I said about that at last night. He was busy telling people because we
Wow.
listened to his apology live last night. And he's like, oh, download my church app. I'm like, don't y'all download that app. It's a scam. When you go download that app, you're gonna wake up, your bank account's gonna be gone.
Mm,
Don't download that app. And that's just a joke, but it could be true. You know what I'm saying? It was on his page as well, but the audio was bad. And it's still there. You really couldn't hear anything in the beginning. But what were your takeaway notes from the press conference that the scam and Pastor did? And we're going to get into our thoughts about the press conference, and then we're going to get into more of the timeline. I've got some more information available. Shout out to Larry Reed Live. When it comes to all that he's done and what he's got going on right now. What are your thoughts about it?
okay. I'm gonna tell you my thoughts, but I just want to say that I got the tea watching the chat, and
Oh,
everybody was telling me that he had an app. I didn't even know. Trust me, I've been stalking this
mm-hmm.
Nino Brown, Brother Polite mashup for a while. Okay. In terms of the press conference, wow, much ado about nothing. um, it was elaborate, but it was nothing. A lot of word salad. He tosses it quite well.
mm-hmm.
Um, it was like he needed to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It was so important for him to be noticed, and he needed fanfare, and he needed pomp and circumstance, and I was just like, okay, you asked these people to be here, and then you don't want to answer any questions.
Mm-hmm.
You're deflecting. You got a woman off to the side with a wave brush, but her hair ain't having no waves. I'm like, what's and again, not shaming. I love you skinny. I love you medium size. I like you thick and fluffy, thick and juicy. I want you to crush me, all of the above. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
just saying it was the wave brush for me. But just to kind of wrap this up very quickly, it didn't need to happen, first of all. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't learn anything new.
I was
Secondly,
about to say, was there anything new that he said? And I just don't feel
no,
like there was.
no, there was no revelation, there was no further context. And last but not least, I hated his blazer and I hated his slacks.
The blazer did look a mess. I'm really tired of these pink glasses he wears. Look like he stole them from his daughter or something. Um, yeah, I felt like I saw some comments about it, and honestly, I can keep it a buck, right? I'm really ignorant to expensive suits like male attire, but I did see a lot of males saying, oh, he chose to wear a regular suit for this and not his flashy suit, because I think the pressure is on as it pertains to people are not holding back with how much it seems like he is robbing his congregation, robbing his church members, and whoever else. So a lot of men, right, and I can't really speak to this, said, oh, this is one of his regular suits, because everybody feels like, listen, you stealing from these church folk.
Right.
So I guess that's
It was
that.
scaled back. I would definitely echo their sentiment. It was scaled back for him.
Mm-hmm.
There were no cufflinks. It wasn't anything flashing. There was no glitter. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, in his mind, I think he felt like it was low key. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? For him. Yeah.
Yeah, what did he say? He said something that stuck out to me. Oh, he said, I don't take a salary. He also said something, basically he said he cannot afford armed security. And it's like, sir, you have an expensive home. Okay. Home is worth well over $1 million. The church looks like a shack. Um, Not to mention the $1 million Rolls Royce you drive and the lavish life you and your, if the man spent 400,000 to $1 million, right? Whichever one is true. But even if it's the lower, right? because he definitely went from they stole $400,000 worth of jewelry from me and my wife. Then he changed it to $1 million for the sake of the insurance claim or whatever. It's like, if you have all that money to wear in jewelry alone in one day, right? You got more paper than you're leading on. So why can't you afford to protect your sheep in your church, right? Because these are innocent cattle sitting here alongside of you, bling blinging. Like, street smarts is one thing, and I'm not trying to blame him for having money and enjoying the finer things in life. There's nothing wrong with that. However, he's a nigga who is familiar with the streets. He knows about street life, and he knows he's a target. If you're walking around with $1 million or $500,000 worth of jewelry on, you're a target. And for that reason, you have more than just your own well-being and your safety to worry about. You have to worry about the safety of your congregation as well. It's safe to say, if he wasn't wearing them cloudy diamonds, as Larry Reed put it, if he wasn't wearing them cloudy diamonds, he would have never been the target, of his church would have never been in that predicament. So as a black man, yeah, we can sit up here and argue thieves shouldn't steal. I should be able to wear what I want. But when you walking through the hood and you know that hood and you know that block and you know how people get down, and he's very familiar with the street life because he's been there. Matter of fact, in my opinion, he's still there. So I just felt like it's irresponsible of him to wear it, number one, for the sake of knowing he's a target. And for number two, the people that you preaching to, they don't have that type of money and those resources. Why are you flexing and y'all sitting up here in a shoebox shack, right? And with thumbtacks and backdrops in the background, it just doesn't add up, right? Nobody should be able to easily count a pastor's pockets. But when you can see the scale is so tilted, it makes it easy to criticize him.
I mean, I think so. I think when you have an individual, or anybody for that matter, and they are outspoken, then automatically we begin to pay attention to them. And when you're outspoken and critical and sorry about that. When you're outspoken and critical, you get the benefit of people wanting to be critical to you in return. And it's just how it works. If you keep a low profile, nobody really pays attention. You want to be one old piece of peacock walking around, spreading your plumage, you're going to get noticed. And when you got a person like he is, people kind of like to knock you down a little bit. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for me, I don't understand how, like y'all said, the shoebox. And I understand, but see, I want to add perspective, because back in the day, you would keep your costume jewelry inside the shoebox. So
costume jewelry, because Larry Reed said, listen, them diamonds is cloudy.
Right. So he was doing what he was taught to do. He was keeping his costume jewelry inside the shoebox. But nah, seriously, I feel like we are watching someone be exposed, and it's right in front of our very eyes. This man cares not about the gospel. He doesn't care, in my opinion.
Especially, you know what, with them sharp slurs. When he kept saying maggot with the F, I'm like, oh my God, like what pastor does that? Like, what pastor feels offended that somebody, if you're busy being robbed and gypped out of your belongings and your money, what room do you have to sit here and attack somebody's sexuality, and to use such that's a very sharp word to me. And he even said it again in his apology that we went over last night. And baby, it's a very sharp word to me. He insulted the woman and called her, fat shaming, and called her Biggie Smalls or Biggie, whatever. And she really didn't even say anything, anything disparaging about him. It really goes to show a lot, in my opinion. It was very distasteful. I'm like, oh my God. I honestly, this is my first introduction to him. I had no clue who he was until he got robbed.
Yeah, I never heard of him ever,
on live stream.
Honestly. Now, I mean, I'm a heathen, but I do know, well, I knew the Lord, but I'm just saying he had never come up on a radar in any capacity. I've heard of TD Jakes. I've heard of this person and that person. I've never heard of him.
Right. I haven't either. Shout out to Malvina Campbell for sending a 199 super chat. I really appreciate that. That was another person who had joined the membership. Shout out to Leo's Tarot. Okay, you got the same name as a daggone cat. Shout out to you. This was me last night listening to the daggone pastor's apology. A subscriber sent me this. Shout out to Andrea Elizabeth who sent me this about my facial expression. This was me listening to his little apology last night, and I was just over it. I had to put it in 1.5 speed because he, again, the same word salad we got today in the press conference was the same stuff that was present in his apology yesterday. Just a mess. I'm just over it. But one thing that I did want to get into was information about $335,000, and this is from a very credible source. And then I'm gonna get into this timeline. So he's a Brooklyn bishop who says he was robbed mid-sermon. He's behind on payments across the tri-state area. A New Jersey judge said he owes $335,000 to a construction company. Okay, he's in default on a $4 million mortgage for a multi-apartment property in Connecticut. And that's some of what we went over last night as we discussed, and we went over the court documents. We went over some of the exhibits. We went over exhibits B, D, and C. So we went over some of the text messages that are included in the lawsuit that the woman filed last year after he swindled her out of $90,000, which was her life savings money. His own church member, he's scamming them out of money. It's really sad. What were your thoughts about him scamming the church member, Jaded?
When I read that information and realized it was a former parishioner, and I have a soft spot for people of a particular age, because like when I was growing up, it wasn't a lot of, I didn't have like siblings until I got much older. So I was around the great aunties, the great uncles, my great grandma, the people that were experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And they always told the best stories. So when I hear stories about them being scammed, taken advantage of, I always feel great empathy, because if you're lucky enough, you're going to get to be that age.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody can do that to you. And I hate that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And she had worked probably and did what she needed to do to get that saved up. And that's not easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at a figurehead. You're looking at someone who helped your son secure a home.
Right.
So you're thinking, all right, bet, cool. I'm trusting in the Lord. I see results, whatever. All you asking is, can I please get $100 a month? And I mean, that's nothing.
I'm like, what the hell are you going to do with $25 a week?
Eat cat food. Cat food. I'm just saying, and I'm not joking.
And he couldn't even do that.
He couldn't even do that. And I'm poor and I'm broke. And I've got some Gucci frames, okay? And those Gucci frames is about $400. Yes, ma'am. So you got this man, right, that you got in the thumbnail, and I love the side eye, but you got this dude, and he's supposed to be helping her. He's not. He takes her money. He misrepresents everything that he's doing, to your point. And then I want to add to your tea, whoever that person was that he scammed, what was it, $260,000 from?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the name is Italian in nature, or I don't know the ethnic background, but he scammed somebody else allegedly for like $200 and some odd $100,000.
He's got such a long list. We can't tell him apart.
No. So to conclude, I felt bad because her son introduced his mother to him. And to know that you introduced her to her scammer doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I can imagine. And reading the court documents yesterday and seeing how he started getting more upset with the mom when the son kind of started getting a little bit buck. You imagine somebody stealing $90,000 from your mom or any of your family members, right?
Yeah.
And he starts treating the mom kind of funny. Well, your son done got smart. I'm pretty sure he did, because you're cheating his mom out of all of the money she has. Like that's almost 100 stacks. It's a lot, and it's really unfortunate. I just listened to his word salad yesterday. and him trying to look at how people are talking to the bishop in the comments. You weren't acting like a bishop. Screw that title. So you want that title to garner you respect without you giving the behavior that is required to earn this sort of respect from people. You treating people that way? No. When you're scamming people and stealing money from them, people are going to treat you like a scamming thief, and they're going to talk to you and put their foot down and say, yo, where's my money? Yo, where's my mom's money? Period. And again, two things people do not play with in this world, and I've learned that between working in the food service industry and working in the financial industry. People do not play about their food, and people do not play about their money, right? What goes into their body and what they live off of. Don't expect a whole bunch of courtesy from them. And you're not talking about $20, $40, $70 he was messing around with. You're talking about your life savings. Yeah, you're going to see people get a little agitated. And I've seen people do a lot more for a lot less when it comes to confronting somebody that's playing with their money like that. So he's lucky he's even still around. I mean, he's talking about he ain't got security for the church. How do you have security for your person and you done screwed all of these people out of their money? You clearly have some sort of way of protecting yourself and making sure you ain't getting your ass beat in these streets. Because how are you still walking? How are your knees not busted? Right? You got some sort of security for yourself, but you don't want to give that to the church. And it's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, just to add a little punctuation to your beautiful statement, he needs his arse whooped. I'm not an advocate of violence in any capacity, but in this case, Shabba Ranks can get it.
And that's on period. Shout out to Tarian Rain Unloaded for the $4.99 super chat. I really appreciate it. Says this dude is as bad as every PP loan fraudstress I've heard of in the last 2 years. Yes, and actually this Brooklyn pastor, the flashy pastor, what do you want to call him? The flashy pastor, the scamming pastor, whatever, bishop scammer, whatever. He has a PP loan history as well. But speaking of his history, let's go through a timeline, and we're going to start with 2004. And shout out to Larry Reed Live for this information, okay? In 2004, okay, let me get this picture of me side-eyeing him off the screen, child, because this is how I really feel about it, okay? But, okay, let's start with 2004. Bishop Lamor Miller Whitehead. Now, the hunt for him in 2004 began after his cohort, Kylie Copeland, was caught in a stolen identity, right? So he's had people he's been working with to help scam people out of their money. In 2005, he continues to steal the identities of multiple people in Long Island, in Brooklyn, and other states in a $2 million scam. Then he buys a $487,000 home in New Jersey. The next year, in 2006, he was arrested after being caught behind the wheel of a stolen Land Rover. Now, the cops raided his home and found a laptop, a computer, cell phones, a stolen 9mm pistol, and a bulletproof vest. He was charged with grand larceny, 10 counts of identity theft, and possession of a stolen firearm. Let's go to 2007. He was accused of stealing $19,000 from a Brooklyn home sale. The lawsuit was filed and then it was dropped. Now, next year in 2008, his employer lended him $261,000. Now, who the hell did he work for? That was that asinine to loan him that amount of money. Who the hell can you work for and borrow 261 stacks? That's crazy.
This is a sick Negro.
That's crazy. But he did sign a promise to pay, and he was convicted of charges of the charges, and he was locked up in the Sing Sing federal prison. Okay, and that's why a lot of times when you hear about him, you'll hear people making jokes about Sing Sing. That's the name of the prison that he was actually arrested in. Now let's fast forward to 2016, because child, when I tell you this is a timeline, this is a timeline. Okay. Now in 2016, he became a bishop. He's seen driving around Brooklyn in a Maserati and a Bentley while he still owes the $261,000 from the 2009 lawsuit. So volunteers to negotiate the surrender. He then volunteers to negotiate the surrender of a man who shot and killed an investment bank researcher on the Q trains, right? So you had a person who was literally carrying out terroristic acts, right? And killed someone. He's busy trying to have this man's back and tries to negotiate the surrender. that really didn't go as well. The cops interceded the whole situation as he tried to deliver the gunman, right, to the mayor, who he's good friends with, crooked mayor, by the way, allegedly. Now, then he claims that the family of the gunman were members of his church. He calls the New York Police Department Chief Eric Adams to arrange the surrender. Again, he's friends with Eric Adams. Him and Eric Adams have caught a lot of heat for being associated with one another. I'm not sure who's worse, Eric Adams or him, because Eric's got a lot of stuff in his shiesty things in his background as well. Then this flashy scamming pastor, he meets the family of the gunman at legal aid's office, intending to take the gunman to the 5th precinct, handing him over to the mayor, right, the former mayor. He's accused openly by legal aid lawyer of having no affiliation with the gunman or family, but attempting to engineer a high-profile handoff and scoping out media presence just for a bigger crowd to arrive. So as he's trying to help this man who murdered an innocent person to surrender himself, he wanted to call the media, he wanted to call the press, he's driving one of his most expensive cars. Like, he wanted to put on the show for this whole, trading in this criminal, right? It's significant because he pulled up to the surrender in a $350,000 Rolls Royce and an Fendi suit. And when he was asked if it was his vehicle, he said, "No, it's not mine. Pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure it's stolen or paid for with stolen money." Now let's go to 2021. He wrote on his Instagram that homosexuality should not be allowed in the pulpit. Boy, you spent 5 years in the pen. I know you need to stop. Then he runs for political office for the Brooklyn borough, right? In 2022, he gets caught up. He removes the donate button from his church's website after reporters asked about his youth mentorship programs, where he denies ever soliciting funds. Now, mind you, this was a program that he said was a nonprofit. And so when he was asked, well, why do you have a donate button? Are you soliciting funds? He then removed the button. Then, and this is literally just this year. And then obviously he was robbed for the $1 million. Okay. So we know he owns property in Connecticut as well. His mortgage is bizarre. It's high. And the tenants have complained in Connecticut of not having any hot water, boarded up fire escapes, and there's a lot of exploitation going on in that situation. Okay. Not to mention he's got his YouTube channel. And to be frank, when it comes to churches, even when you do bad things as churches, like TD Jakes, right? TD Jakes recently had his hot take about women needing to be more soft and all this other stuff, right? I gave my opinion on that a couple videos ago. You can check it out if you want. But whether you're a pastor doing something good or bad, because you remember the spitting pastor, spit in his hand, rubbed it on his brother's face. If you get one video a month that gets 1 million views, that is $5 CPM, which is $60,000 a year. If you get 3 videos a month with 1 million views, that's $180,000 a year. And 5 videos of 1 million views a month, that is $300,000 a year. So that's why you catch a lot of these pastors with these mega churches, or at least with a mega following, because it's clearly not a mega church that this flashy pastor has, but he's trying to attain a mega following. So sometimes they say stuff that they know is wrong, that they know is risky, that they know is viral, in an attempt to attain more views on YouTube. See, we're not the only one trying to get a lot of views on YouTube. It's these people in the pulpit too. And this just gives you a brief rundown. And I'm pretty sure there are far more transgressions than the ones I just read. Jada, what are your thoughts about these transgressions?
Well, my first thought is, for this man who speaks so passionately against the LGBTQIA LMNOP community, again, it's your prerogative, okay? I'm not here to change your mind, because I ain't changing mine. However, I don't quite understand how this man got in his feelings because he kept calling Larry Reed live and Larry Reed wouldn't even answer the phone. So my question is, were you tingling on the inside? Did you want him to touch your hair on the inside like Beloved, and he wouldn't answer the phone? So you got in your feelings, and then you got angry because he was kikiing and cacaing and all that. And for you who could be sitting around flopping in the closet, you need something that you think is an easy access, right? So you're thinking, because Larry Reed alive never admitted or ever has never come out to say I'm a gay man. He hasn't.
I've heard some stuff during live streams where he insinuated, although it's none of my business,
Right, it's none
right?
of my business. I'm over here with the rainbow child. It's enough of us over here, whether they want to join or not. Okay. But this dude right here, this bishop, this man, this individual, I'll tell y'all this much, and it's not exclusive to every individual. But what I can tell you is many people that speak out against it the most and are the most bothered typically be the ones that be tipping and dipping.
Yep.
Okay.
Shout out to Boosie.
I'm just saying. And Bell Peppernose mother Andrew Caldwell
come on.
me has taught me that these type of people right here, there's a reason why they got energy. So just to kind of answer your question, just to kind of wrap it all up, because I know I be talking and I'm not going to be the lead attorney, but look,
we're gonna talk about that when this live ends.
Right. Okay. I'm not gonna long stroke y'all, but look, this man is faking it till he makes it. But the kicker is he ain't made it. He ain't made it. He's still faking it. And that's the energy I get from this person. Fake it till you make it.
Absolutely. I think it's given Jussie Smollett. First of all, thank you, Uncle Stu, the old man on the block, for the $10 super chat. Says supporting the stream. I do appreciate that. Speaking of Andrew Caldwell, because he's a key.
Anyway.
Now imagine him trying to act like he not,
Baby,
he not a pawn.
I'm trying not to laugh, but I just want everybody to know I ain't got no problem with Larry. Larry's okay with me.
Larry's, he's a YouTuber.
I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, he is. He's very funny. And that's the thing. When you think about a Black person who does media, who covers the entire, like some people, they think about R. Kelly, they automatically think about me. They think about Black news, they automatically think about me, because that's where I specialize. When you think about anybody in the gospel realm, when there's some, drama or whatever, the first person you think about is Larry, because that's where he specializes in. It's just the gospel, the church.
And scene. He's funny and entertaining. He is, okay? That's why I keep it cute, because you ain't gonna be dragging me.
Okay. Larry said, I don't start with nobody unless they start with me for the most part. That's what he said. Let's get into the next thing. We got into the flashy pastor, and as much as I want to stop talking about him, the information just won't stop. And as far as him being behind on his New Jersey home and a notice being taped to his door, we went over that yesterday. When we went over the court documents, okay? Because that was a surprise in the middle of the live. I had no clue that he was behind on that home, and that the home appeared to be abandoned. But let's go ahead and pivot into the next topic. Everybody and their mama is talking about this right here, child. This right here. Here we go. Breathing life again into the slap. And I know you did a video on this earlier, Jada, and I couldn't catch it because I was either at work or taking my after work nap that I needed to take, because I really just didn't feel well earlier today. But I was concerned when I heard he put this on YouTube, because I said, oh, he trying to strike people. I was like, oh, he trying to strike people. But when I saw he put it on his Instagram too, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll play it then, instead of just kind of saying how we feel about it. And luckily it's only 5 minutes long. What I found to be interesting real quick on a technical aspect, I pay attention to the technical aspect of all these different apps, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, whatever. There's some people fanning over you in the chat, Jaded Nerd. Shout out to you.
Oh, thank you.
Some people that recognize your voice, they were like, is that Jaded Nerd? Yeah, it's Jaded Nerd. One thing I noticed about this reel on his page, you know how usually when you're watching a reel that's over 60 seconds long, you can see the scroll bar at the bottom so that you can stop it, pause, rewind, do whatever.
And the full screen.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. His wasn't. I was trying to figure out why his wasn't letting us do that. I'm like, dude, he got some little special what you call it? What do you call it when you have a special advantage? Whatever, a different type of perk with his celebrity profile, maybe.
Perhaps.
Where that's not offered. But that was one little technical thing I noticed. But let's go ahead. Excuse you, Leo. Yes? Are we done? Wait till we get a different color chair so people can really see you sitting here staring at me. All right.
Real quick before you go, because I have my cat Mischief, and I talk to Mischief, and Mischief talks to me.
Okay. I'm not the only one. The cats literally.
He bullies me, actually.
Yes, they are bullies.
Actually, he bullies me. And I wish I could get it on camera because I wish I could report him. There's no human services to call against your animal abusing you. And he verbally abuses me.
They will cuss you out.
Okay. Curse you out, stare at you.
For whatever reason. It just don't make no sense. They're
turn
very
around
fussy.
And turn the A up to you like you ain't nothing. I already know.
It don't make no sense. Now, Leo, get your butt out these people's faces.
See how much he thinks of us? He's giving us his a-hole.
Oh, my goodness. Yo, don't report the live, child.
Okay.
It's just an animal. Look, I hate looking at that thing. I hate it. I don't like how it looks.
That's what I told my girlfriend.
They are bullies. You walk in the kitchen when they want something from you. They're very demanding.
My Lord.
The temperament, and it don't matter whether they boy or a girl. I get it. Some people feel like the girl cats can be more catty, obviously, but no, male cat or girl cat.
This is a male diva. Okay.
Yeah, because he's very sassy. All right, let's get into what Will Smith has got going on. I kind of have a lot of thoughts, but I don't about this. I'm really tired of hearing about the slap, to be completely honest with you. But I gotta respect somebody coming out and taking accountability for what they did. And I want to know where this lands with the rest of you as well. Obviously, myself and Jaded are going to say how we feel about it. Let's play it. Look, if you haven't had the time to hit thumbs up, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, unless you're trying to fight, because I can kick you off my bus. It's free to ride the bus. All I'm asking you to do is hit the thumbs up button. So let's get with that. Let's get into what Will is saying here and make it bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Very cinematic situation.
Why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech? I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I saw an interview that Chris's mother did, and that was one of the things about that moment. I just didn't realize, and I wasn't thinking, but how many people got hurt in that moment. So I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I want to apologize to Chris's family, specifically Tony Rock. We had a great relationship. Tony Rock was my man. And this is probably irreparable. I spent the last 3 months replaying and understanding the nuances and the complexities of what happened in that moment. And I'm not going to try to unpack all of that right now, but I can say to all of you, there is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment. There's no part of me that thinks that's the optimal way to handle a feeling of disrespect or insults. After Jada rolled her eyes, did she tell you to do something? No. It's like, you know, I made a choice on my own, from my own experiences, from my history with Chris. Jada had nothing to do with it. I'm sorry, babe. I'm gonna say sorry to my kids and my family for the heat that I brought on all of us. To all my fellow nominees, you know, this is a community. It's like I won because you voted for me, and it really breaks my heart to have stolen and tarnished your moment. I can still see Questlove's eyes. You know, it happened on Questlove's award, and you know, it's like I'm sorry really isn't sufficient. What would you say to the people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let them down? So there's two things. One, disappointing people is my central trauma. I hate when I let people down. So it hurts. It hurts me psychologically and emotionally to know I didn't live up to people's image and impression of me. And the work I'm trying to do is I am deeply remorseful, and I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself, right? I'm human, and I made a mistake, and I'm trying not to think of myself as a piece of shit. So I would say to those people, I know it was confusing. I know it was shocking. But I promise you, I am deeply devoted and committed to putting light and love and joy into the world. And, you know, if you hang on, I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this is Will Smith and where he is with the slap. Now, before I get into how I feel about it, I want to know how you feel about it, Jaded. Leo, do you have something to say? Because you on my back. Do you have something about it to say? All right. I don't think he has anything to say. I think he just want to be a part of the situation. Jaded, how do you feel about it?
Okay, at first I was being messy, okay, because you know how I am. I ain't worth ish. But at first I was like, Anita Baker, I apologize. But then I listened to it, and then I was like, wait a minute. I had to really think, because he's a very accomplished actor. Mm-hmm. And when we're dealing with people who do this for a living, you have to take that into account. You really do. Mm-hmm. But I felt like there were a couple of moments where I just really didn't feel pretense. Was this choreographed? Yes.
Yeah.
Was this practiced? Yes.
I would agree.
I feel like with his amount of money and who he is, that's the best you can come up with. It took you this long, but you feel me? It took you that long. Um, uh, here's what I would have done if I were Will Smith. Jada would have been there, first of all, and she would not have spoken. Secondly, we would have held hands to show connection and connectivity and unity. We're not going to that damn red table.
Thank goodness.
Yeah,
I seen your community tab post about that earlier today. I was cracking up.
We're not messing with that table. Throw it in the wood chipper. But I felt that it would have been more powerful because, again, even though he speaks about how he was triggered and he takes responsibility, she was the catalyst. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, what was she though?
Yeah. Or that's what we identify as the catalyst. It may not necessarily be the catalyst within him, but in terms of the court of public opinion and what was presented to us, like the media, she got put in there, even if that's not actually true. You understand what I'm saying? She's in it. And I just kind of feel like, just my personal opinion, and I know people can, and I like when people have the different perspectives, so it's cool. Just a small part of me just feels like it would have been very powerful to have her there, because I feel like he was still supporting her in that moment. I have yet to see her support him, is all I'm saying.
Well, she had made the one statement about it. Here's how I feel about it. I feel like it's unfortunate that she was unfairly associated with this situation. If me and my significant other are out in public and a man does something that my man knows that I really don't like, but he doesn't get the chance to assess, does she feel extremely disrespected or just mid disrespect, and he just goes off the rails. Now, to correlate this back to Will and Jada, it's unfortunate that, because a lot of people, she's evil, she rolled her eyes, so because she rolled her eyes is why he did that. And I'm glad that he was able to say, no, Jada didn't tell me to do anything. I did this on my own. And there was some pressure honestly applied to the whole family, I think. And could Jada have been there for support? Yes. But this also, not to say it's not her burden to bear because it's her husband, but you got to think about it. This is a situation, and honestly, by the look on Will's face, his body language, and his demeanor, because we remember like the first round of memes that went out about Will when he was at that red table and they were having that conversation about the entanglement. Will looked defeated. He looked so emotional. He looked like there was a lot that he had going on, right? I get that same sense from this apology. And I get that a lot of people feel like it looks rehearsed and it looks choreographed. And I can tell there was a teleprompter around, if at the very least, to just read, because he was answering frequently asked questions about the situation. So I could definitely tell he was reading the questions that he wanted to answer from the teleprompter, but I could tell there was some notes he was taking as well. I think that it was too pivotal, too important of a moment. And I think that it's a really emotionally charged moment for him to be responding to and about, for him to just freestyle it. I know people would have appreciated a random, hey, let me just pick up my phone and go live and talk about it. But let's keep it a buck. When there's something that is really still plaguing us and really still bothering us, sometimes that's not the best representation. And Will has way too much to lose to just haphazardly go live without any notes and coaching. You can tell this took a lot of coaching for him to do. You can tell this took a lot of coaching for him to do. And you can tell he's still really affected by it. He still looked like there was something very heavy weighing on him.
I do agree.
So
I want to say one thing though, real quick, just for everyone in the chat. I definitely understand the sentiment of a lot of the females and women in the chat. And it is very easy to blame Black women. I'm just going to go ahead and be transparent and real.
Speak on it.
And that's one thing I do want to make sure that I present. I love when there's perspective and I can learn and challenge myself, and we can have, real discussion. So I just want to make sure that even with how I feel about this particular moment or situation, I hope it doesn't come across where it's like, yo, let's dump on black women, or let's go ahead and do the like default playbook on it, because I don't want it to come across like that. Just for me, just I don't want to lie to y'all. I don't want to lie to Jane, and just how I've just kind of perceived it and observed it just from my perspective. I said that, but I'm kind of checking some of the comments out, and I appreciate it, because it's easy, and just so Jane knows and people know, like I've really worked on, like, yo, don't have that toxic attitude towards black women. It's easy. And even though I'm gay as hell and I love women, they're my biggest supporters. I got to be careful, because it's easy to fall into that dismissive, misogynistic, massage noir, a sexist. You know what I'm saying? Those things. So I just want to make sure I say that, because I sincerely don't mean it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's it's lucrative, and even as black women, we have to fall out of just trying to berate and beat on and batter and to be condescending towards other fellow black women for whatever reason. Um, and again, Jade is not the one who got up and slapped somebody. Will is. However, honestly, let's keep it a buck. Okay, so we done got the professional aspect of it out the way, right?
No, but I really do appreciate these real perspectives, because that's what I love. So if it came off that way, I would love to kind of dive into it in context with how you got things structured, honestly.
Well, yeah, I mean, I listened to, I was able to listen to a party of video when I was on my way home from work, and I couldn't listen to all of it. And I appreciate your shade. I've never felt like you've been, disrespectful. But to keep it a buck, and I get this, we was talking about this in the Discord earlier today. It was just a slap. Like, it's easy to say it was just a slap, because honestly, it was just a slap. It wasn't a punch. It wasn't, anything like that. And do I want to say I feel like it wasn't that big of a deal? It honestly, in real life, it's not that big of a deal. However, Will is worried about his representation, his respectability. And honestly, you know what? I get that. I get that, when you don't even realize, or maybe you do realize, but you lose sight of how people view you in a high regard.
Right.
And when you
That's
get
fair.
a slew of comments that say, I'm disappointed in you, I expected more of you, it does make you feel some type of way. Honestly, I can say that I've been there before, even with certain opinions that I've presented. People, I expected more from you, and I'm like, was it my opinion, or this person just doesn't agree with me, and they're just saying that to try to guilt me into feeling bad about my opinion, what I said, what I did. But I can admit that having a slew of people who sometimes it's more disappointing. I don't know if you were coming up, between getting punished and having, let's just say, if there was like a grandmother or an auntie that you really vibed with, and it broke your core when that favorite family member or person you looked up to told you, I'm disappointed in you. It
Yeah.
hurts. It hurts. And Will has had a good boy, good man image for a long time. And the plethora and the weight of all of that coming down on him at one time, I can imagine him feeling some type of way. And it didn't seem fake. I get it. Some people feel like, oh, he was reading from a teleprompter. He's a phenomenal actor. I don't believe, it did seem very genuine and heartfelt. And it seems like he's honestly not over it. It seems like he's still trying to work through it, because it seemed very heavy. The same way when he was sitting on the other side of Jada and she's laughing about the entanglement, and he's sitting over there making that face that we use as a meme. Hell,
Okay.
I use the face as, matter of fact, you and I both use that face
Okay.
as the emoji in the
Yes, the
as
crying. Yes.
our channel member. Our channel members are able to use that emoji.
Indeed.
So Will is somebody who, of course, he's a great actor. But I think you can really tell when something's really plaguing him, bothering him, when something's heavy for him. And I think Will is still working through that. So it's easy for people to say, oh, just go live. It seemed too edited. It seemed too produced. I guarantee you, once you get to the point where you are at a, let's just say, $50 million net worth, you aren't just haphazardly going live to address something that lasted in the headlines for months at a time. That's not the way that you address a situation when you are at the caliber that a Will is at. So yeah, it was edited, but it wasn't heavily edited, right? Because let's say every other word was choppy and we
Right.
just
No jump
he was,
cuts.
like
Right.
reading a speech or
Right.
anything like that. So
Well,
it's cool that he took the accountability at the very least.
what do you think, Jane? Just to add on to what you're saying, one little small thing. Do you think that this absence, the MIA period, do you think maybe he was maybe getting some therapy, maybe seeking a little bit of counseling to get to the point to where he could have the video, have the teleprompter for bullet points, and speak from the heart? Do you think maybe he invested in that? Because I know a lot of people, especially in our Black and brown communities, therapy is taboo, but we need it.
Yeah.
And
I
and
do
he,
think
yeah,
that Will was getting the therapy. I've honestly, before this situation even happened, some of the best motivational speeches I've ever listened to are from Will Smith, Jim Carrey, a small amount of Oprah Winfrey. And Will is very much a student of life. I mean, between traveling the world, studying different religions, respecting different regions of the world and their different cultures and how they get down to really learn just more about people and life. He is a student of life. He really is. So I do feel like um, he was getting therapy, and I think that it adds points, right? Because he said he reached out to Chris privately. Chris is not ready to have a conversation with him privately. However, right, and some people say, "Oh, well, this some things should be done in private and not in public." The thing about it was the humiliation that Chris Rock suffered. It was
mhm,
so public. It was so massive. I'll be damned if you disrespect me on a global standpoint and try to whisper your apology in my ear when nobody can hear it. No,
yeah,
your apology needs to be just as loud as your disrespect. And kudos to Will for not, just trying to scoop past it. Because, yeah, he gave a little apology in his acceptance speech, but he was still in the heat of the moment. And the heat of that moment overshadowed him winning the award and everything else. It overshadowed the apology. And Chris Rock looked, really depressed days after that when the paparazzi first called him. You had his brother expressing his discrepancies. You had his mother doing interviews expressing those discrepancies. And I think those were pretty valid points that Will brought up in his apology. He's like, look, I want to apologize to his mom and his brother because his mother gave a heartfelt interview too. Nobody wants to see their child being slapped on national television.
right.
He didn't think about those types of ramifications. And it takes a big person to apologize. Honestly, I don't care what you're apologizing about in front of the world. So I think that Will did the best that he could have done in his emotional state, because it's very clear he's still emotional and
Yeah.
he's still beating himself up about it. Um,
And he
so
didn't give a provisional apology. He didn't give a you know how people be apologizing, but they don't apologize. I didn't hear
mhm.
that at all.
Yeah,
Everything he said, he owned everything.
yeah. He
So
didn't
I
say
definitely
if
caught,
I
yeah,
offended you or it wasn't my like just hate apologies like that. He took it full of, there's not a better way to apologize, to be quite
yeah.
frank.
And I really liked when he talked about how he didn't want to say that he was ashamed of himself.
Hmm.
He admitted how he took ownership, he felt bad, remorse. He's going to speak about a different behavior, but he said, I don't want to say that I'm ashamed.
Hmm.
Because that's what the only reason why I was asking about the therapy and counseling. Because I'll be honest, like in terms of Will, for me, I haven't really been following him a lot. I know he got the YouTube and the bucket list and the best shape of my life and stuff like that. But I haven't really been following them. I'm gonna be real with you. So aside from like, maybe a video here or hearing about the bad boys or this slap, Will's been living his best life, doing his best thing. And I just figured that because he seemed so composed and because he seemed so he just seemed a little bit more centered now, obviously. So I felt it would be kind of cool and fair just to ask, not as an indictment on him, but just more about advocacy for us as Black and brown people about the benefits of therapy when you can be at the highest of the heights, or you could be a person like me who don't nobody know, but you still can benefit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and again, thank y'all. I love all the perspectives. And yes, please be vociferous and tear my ass up. Now, you know what I'm saying? Because I love to
Vociferous.
learn.
Them
I love
vocabulary
to
words. I
learn and I
love it.
love to have my mind open. So thank y'all for that, for real.
You know what? Another note about Jada being there. I think it's great that he separated Jada from this moment, because this was about him taking full accountability. Because Jada being there, it would have opened her up to additional backlash, right? Not to mention, even if Jada was there, even without the presence of the figurative, right, or the literal
hmm
red table, people would have associated it with that. He would have been saying things. We would have got the typical what that we get on the red table. Right. That's all that they do on the red table talk. And had
Right.
she been there, it would have taken away from him taking full accountability and standing in the spotlight of his shame in that moment. I think it was great he didn't include Jada. I think that even Jada just sitting by, even if she didn't say anything, it could have taken away from him taking the full spotlight of accountability, I think.
Right.
Let me read this one comment that disagrees. I disagree. He is protecting his ego. His apology could have been better. I mean, I think there's room for improvement in everything, just about. But you can't expect, in my opinion, expecting perfection from people who are still in the midst of being emotional about what they've done or whatever they're talking about. It's kind of impossible. You know what I mean? There's no perfect way to address something that you're still feeling the emotions run through you about. You just have to get through those emotions as a person. And I think whether he's a celebrity or a regular person, people do expect perfection from him, even in this moment. I really don't think that there's necessarily more that he could have done to satisfy people, because regardless of how he would have said it or presented it, there would have been people who felt like, we want more, we want better.
Right.
You can't please everybody.
Right.
So the apology that Okada feels like, the apology that would have been given, that Okada may have accepted as completely perfect, a lot of other people might have been like, nah, that's not it, it's not hitting. So you got to say what you say, own up to your stuff, and try to move forward. But Will definitely still seems emotional about it. And I had several people contact me earlier today asking me if I was going to cover it. And I'm like, man, I'm tweeting earlier today like, Lord, as soon as we get rid of seeing Will plastered on all of our timelines between Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, here we go again, breathing more life into the situation. Goddamn.
But I will say this to your point, Jane. I did like that he kind of did it on it. I mean, even though I said, yo, where was Jada? But it was cool to see him because we was waiting. What is he gonna say? What is he doing? Yo,
Mm-hmm.
where the heck is Will? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, and y'all, here come the stones, right? But do you think that this might be a precursor to like Will and Jada separating because we are seeing them separately? Is it fair to ask? I'm not trying to be, well, I'm 10% messy and 90% sincere in this question. So
You
that's
know what?
transparency.
Somebody said that in my Discord earlier today. Somebody said that in the dag on Discord earlier today. And I'm like, look, I have no clue. But honestly, Jada sitting there rolling her eyes in the first during this slap was enough to get her crucified. So God forbid she would have needed to sit there like a mannequin if she was next to him and try not to feel emotional about anything, try not to roll her eyes. She would have had to be a mannequin, and God forbid if she blinks a certain way, people, this is what this means. This is, Jada being there. But are they about to separate? You know what? Honestly, I have no clue. I was under the impression that they had an open relationship and that they both fondle around. Will has had a girlfriend allegedly for quite some time, and Jada has done her thing, and so I'm not sure how and when an open relationship ends, let alone theirs. There are always rumors surrounding them. And now even more than ever, like all the rumors we heard about Will and Jada last year and on back, we could have took them more as fact because there was never this pit fire in the center of them. But now that this is going on, it's difficult for me to take any of the rumors I hear at face value, if that makes sense. So I'm not sure what to believe as far as them potentially separating.
But the rumors have been around even before last year.
Oh, really?
Well, or at least for me, I'm just being honest because I'm a couple years older. I'm being real. The rumblings and bumblings, and I'm not saying they're substantiated. I promise I'm not. But just like with T.I. and Tiny, I promise you, the rumblings and bumblings and rumor had been around. Honestly, I'm not lying because I remember. Okay. Hey T Lounge, hey everybody. So yeah. And again, I'm loving this. And again, thank you, Jane. I'm loving this. Your perspective, mine. I love the chat. It's real. Okay, no echo chamber. So yeah, that's what's up. I'm happy. Let me
We
pour
love
me a
it.
shot.
Appreciate it. Okay. Let's get into the next subject. We got a couple more things we need to talk about. And shout out to everybody in the chat. There's almost 200 of us here.
Oh,
if you haven't taken the time to hit the thumbs up button, I see there's 131 of us who have hit the thumbs up button. There's about 180 of us here right now. Take the time. It's free. Okay. There were 2 people who sent me cash apps, and thank you so much for that. I do greatly appreciate those cash apps. Let's get into the next subject. Wendy Williams. Okay. Wendy Williams it's like as soon as I want the bad news to stop, honestly, I hope that the podcast doesn't come out because I don't feel like she's well. I don't feel like she's well enough for this podcast to do what it needs to do. But even outside of just performance and numbers, I just feel like Wendy needs to focus on her health. And every time I turn around, there's news coming out about her, and it's somewhat disheartening. It really, really, really is. I want to get into something, and I was trying to listen to what her brother said the other day. Oh, no, matter of fact, it wasn't the other day. It was like last week. He said this about her. And basically, what he said was that he blacked out. Okay. And I want to know how you all feel about this down below in the chat. This is her brother, her clout chasing brother, Tommy Williams, because Tommy is definitely trying to ride the coattails, I'm sorry, of Wendy Williams. Okay. He goes onto his YouTube channel and says, Wendy Williams, ... Wendy Williams' brother, giving you the news. Tommy Williams giving you the news. It's very cringy, but he does end up spilling his sister's private information, and it's really nobody's business. But let's get into it because allegedly, Wendy Williams' brother alleges that she refused to let her own son, Kevin Jr., into her home on her birthday, and he called her trash. So let me get into this information. And Jaded, I would love to know how you feel about this, because I think you and I both, we have very in-depth analysis naturally based off of what we do in the media about Wendy Williams and what she got going on. So this is Wendy Williams' younger brother, and honestly, they look a lot alike, especially when they smile. I've always said that, right? So he went live on his YouTube channel and blasted her. He literally titled the video, Wendy Williams' brother blacks out on Wendy Williams, right? And basically saying that her son, Kevin Jr., showed up to her penthouse, claims that he flew out to New York to spend the birthday with her, but she ain't let him in. So here's a quote of what he said in that video. And thank goodness, because the video was probably about, I want to say like 20 minutes long, but God was working, because when you click on the video, the audio is horrible. It sounded like he might have dropped his phone in water or something. So you can't hear it. But there were some people who transcribed it, and you can hear slight things, but it's very irritating to listen to that. But he says, quote, Wendy's birthday is tomorrow. It should be a great time for family, a great time for her son, but it's not. It's a great time for everybody inside of Wendy's head. He went ahead to call Wendy mean, abrupt, and heartless. He even went ahead to call her trash. Okay. He says also, quote, her son is up there to spend what could be monumental time with his mother. That is, if she opens the door. My nephew is trying to get in there now to see his mother. He was with me yesterday. We talked about the trip. We smiled and we laughed. First thing this morning, he took the first flight out. He was going up there. He was excited. I was excited for him. He landed safely. He reached out. Great. And now the moment of truth as beckons to see his mother at the pearly gates to see Wendy. He said, talk about dragging. She's dragging everybody, namely her son. She's selfish. One thing about my sister Wendy is she's always been selfish all the way back, way before the Wendy show, way before. She talks about how much she wants to bang. She talks about how much she wants somebody to bang her out. We talk about huckabuck, okay? She's talking about how much she wants to have sex. She's got a son. She's got a 91-year-old father. She's got a mother looking down on her from the heavens. He says, outside of me, outside of her son, those are the men in her life right now. Those are the men in her life, like these other men in her life who really care. A lot of men, there's a lot of people out here that I guess she'd like to be involved with, but who's going to be there when it counts? One thing I did hear him saying, in quote, was he ended up saying how she's 57 years old and she wears these really short shorts. She calls them panty shorts. But I mean, you know, she does have long legs. In her defense, she does have long legs. And it's not like she got any butt to be seeing, right? But nonetheless, Tommy is upset at his sister wearing short shorts. I mean, he really blasted her in that video with horrible audio. I feel like that was God just trying to shut him up. Jada, what are your thoughts about Wendy Williams' brother saying these things about her and spilling all her business?
When she was talking about him on her show, I felt bad for him because I didn't know who he was. And I was like, oh, wow, don't spill his tea, okay? Mm-hmm. Which she didn't do. But she left enough on the table that you put two and two together. She did. Mm-hmm. A part of me kind of feels like he's getting her back for that. I'm just saying, a part of me feels like it's very petty. Now I can't speak to whether or not it's sibling rivalry, whether there's jealousy in terms of her career and her body of work. Mm-hmm. And he's a virtual unknown. He's on social media now. 9 times out of 10, the vast majority of individuals know him because Wendy was about to drag him and expose him. Let's keep it real. Mm-hmm. Okay. Could he or could he not be a member of the LGBTQIA LMNOP community? I have no way of confirming that. Wendy can, but she will not and has not, even to this day. Clout is a heck of a drug, and you know, people want to be remembered and they want to be relevant. And maybe in his mind, he kind of looks at, you know, everything that he has accomplished, and maybe he's like, damn, like my sister kicked my ass. You know, for real. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's a combination of sibling rivalry, hating on Black women, and male ego, where I can't let this woman be better than me. It's kind of like Reggie Miller and Cheryl Miller.
That's what I get from it.
And, you know, Reggie Miller, Hall of Famer, he's a legend, okay? He just ran into Michael Jordan in the damn East, and like many people, and that's why he ain't got no rings like that. But I'm bringing him up because Cheryl Miller, his sister, was always better, even when they were growing up. And Reggie Miller would score X amount of points, and Cheryl Miller would score damn near double. Cheryl Miller was just always better than her brother. Cheryl Miller has always dominated more than her brother. Hell, look at the track and field championships, the world championships, 10 days ago? The U.S. women, they came and women represent. That's what I'm trying to say. And there's a lot of times where men get mad because they see women representing and they ain't representing. And I'm a man and I can say that. So maybe it's some of that or all of that going on.
Yeah, for me, I watch Tommy closely just to see what information he's going to spit out about Wendy, but he's definitely he wants his sister spotlight. I'm even looking on his little channel, and I usually don't put little in front of things because it kind of tries it diminishes and it trivializes whatever the hell. Just like people say, oh, I like your little business or your little channel, bitch. My channel ain't little, but no, I'm gonna talk about Tommy's channel and call it little because he's literally trying to steal his sister shine. Oh wow, Wendy's down. Wendy's not giving the news now. He's doing live streams. Wendy Williams' brother, Tommy Williams, giving you the news. So he's trying to run through hot topics and do that. And it's not giving the videos barely get 700 views because first of all, he can't stay on topic. He's not technologically advanced. I'm not trying to be funny or shame elders, but when old people pick up cell phones and what's going, I'm trying to can't see what's going on. It's give it up. You're not your sister. You will never be Wendy. Yeah. You will never be Wendy. You can look like Wendy, right? You can see they got the same teeth, they got the same smile. You will never be Wendy. And every time Wendy is down and out, that's when he pops up and he's the most vocal. When she's doing okay, he's quiet. But as soon as she's down and out, here he is trying to, even for him to leave the video up. I was watching a video he did 4 days ago, and he's like, oh, I did something I shouldn't have done last week, and the blogs and the media picked up on it, and I shouldn't have done that, but I'm here now. And he was talking about the video that he titled Wendy Williams' brother blacks out on her. It's only got 4,000 views, but he hasn't deleted it. Not that that's going to erase it from the internet or stop the blogs from remembering it, but it's like you want the notoriety from dragging your sister. You pretend to support your sister and lift her up 4 or 5 days out the week. And then the 2 days out the week, you snatch it all back to get some clout and some shock value off of talking mess about her. Because there's always going to be an audience of people who just don't like her. That's just how Wendy rocked. And that's actually been a part of her marketing plan, right? If I can piss people off, outrage is social currency. And Wendy Williams grasped that before we even understood what clout and before those words even came along. Wendy Williams knew how to go viral before the term viral was even a thing. So, Tommy trying to steal her footsteps and walk in her big ass shoes. Pun intended.
Don't do my lumber and lumberjack like that, Jane. Don't do her like that.
Look, him trying to walk in a big ass. It's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen, and it's annoying because this is stuff that we shouldn't have to know. We didn't have to know anything about her son. Why she didn't answer the door? Was she there? Was she not there? Did she not hear it? Was she passed out? Did she have too much to eat, drink? It's not our business, and we're used to random insiders from the production companies, Debmar Mercury, leaking information about Wendy, all to see her blood brother sitting here, praising her 5 days out the week, and then the 2 days out the week he's not getting enough attention. Now it's like, let me drag Wendy for some attention. It's terrible. I hate it.
Well, and I want to just add on to what you're saying. Okay, I cannot be a contrarian on this topic, but I mean, we have to put, and he has to, and let me clarify that he has to put respect on her name because she's a female counterpart to Howard Stern. They call Howard Stern the king of media.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Let us be real. Wendy Williams is a female mogul. Okay. And she has transcended media, radio, television, blogging, gossip. Okay. And we have to understand that as a Black woman, right? In this game dominated by men, right? We got to give her flowers. Now, again, I'm honest and I'm very, very transparent. Have I made my jokes? Hell yeah. That's who I am. Have I called her a lumbering lumberjack? Yeah, I did. Okay. But am I ever going to take away from her skill, her body of work, what she put down? There will never be another person to emulate, woman or man, in my opinion, what she's done, because now you can't do it because everything is digital. So we should celebrate what Wendy has laid down, and her brother, this caramel Ninja Turtle, needs to calm down.
Caramel Ninja Turtle. You know what he do? I'm stop it right there. I can't wait to joke about turtles when we end this live. There is somebody here on YouTube that people think looks like a turtle child, and I ain't gonna name it now. You already know. Okay. You already know it. And they do look alike. They just different shades. So, speaking of turtle child, the turtles be in the background waiting for their moment. Waiting for their moment to get up in there. Just snapping turtles, they say. But yeah, when it comes to Wendy Williams, brother, that's annoying. It's really, really annoying. But there is another Wendy Williams update that I want to get into. It pertains to Kelvin Hunter and Debmar Mercury, right? Again, we talk about Wendy Williams always having been transparent, whether she wanted to be transparent or not, right? I think eventually, after people ended up finding out that she had some habits, she had no choice but to be transparent, and it made more sense to just own up to it, right? And she's spoken about this on numerous occasions. And now her ex-husband, Kelvin, aka Kevin Hunter, is coming out and saying some things about how Debmar Mercury wouldn't allow her, the production company of the Wendy Williams show would not allow her to get help. They wouldn't sign off on agreeing for her to get help with her addiction issues. So let's get into these details, and I'm really curious to know what you think about this as well, Jaded. So this is what her ex-husband said, that the Debmar Mercury, they didn't even want to engage in any activity that would take her away from the purple chair. They wouldn't support her recovery efforts, right? They wouldn't sign off on anything that would have assisted her to get off of, whether it was just alcohol or whatever else she may have been addicted to. So this is something that her ex-husband, who was 50 years old, Kelvin, and even her family, they attended different intervention, different times that they tried to intervene, right? So during the midst of the intervention with Kelvin, her family, and even her mother, when her mother was still alive, and Debmar Mercury, the group discussed how to further aid Wendy Williams in her battle with alcoholism. So, quote, he says, they sat in a meeting with her whole family, including her deceased mom, and they wouldn't sign off. They wouldn't help her get well and to live a life that was sober. And basically that Debmar Mercury said, listen, if you don't stop drinking, you're going to lose this show. So this is an intervention that took place about a month and a half before her ex-husband, Kelvin, would welcome his second child with the mistress, Sharina Hudson, and after Wendy worked full-time while living in a sober house. So a source was able to share that Wendy was not 100% upon departing the facility. It's safe to say that when she came out of the sober house before she divorced Kelvin, that she still wasn't capable of making all the decisions. She wasn't capable then, but she was hiding it. So she filed for divorce in 2019 from Kelvin Hunter, as we all know. And actually representatives for Debmar Mercury, they didn't return page 6 requests for comment. Wendy Williams has a representative that had no comment at the time. Now, Wendy Williams battled drug and alcohol addiction throughout her career. She was sober until she appeared to relapse in late 2018 or early 2019. And at the time, she went on a hiatus from the show for 2 months, but they frequently blamed it on her Graves' disease. Now, remember, she's got the Graves' disease and the lymphedema, and those were some of the crutches, allegedly, according to reports, that they were blaming things on, her different illnesses, when it was really based off of her addiction issues, right? So they say only Kelvin knows about this, not the parents, not anybody. Nobody knew, because she looked too glamorous out there. And this is actually what Wendy said. She said, only Kelvin knows about this, not my parents or anyone. No one knows about this because I look so glamorous out here. And she shared this in 2019. Wendy said, after I finish my appointments, I am driven by my 24-hour sober coach back to a home that I live in the tri-state area with a bunch of smelly boys who have become my family, end quote. But after she returned, she was alleged to be controlling, which might have been the reason for her entering the sober living facility. So, according to a source, it says no one thinks that it was the right place for Wendy. She seemed so frail. She seemed so vulnerable. It's frightening, they said, how she just completely under Kelvin's control she was, and she wasn't able to say a word to speak against them. Those close to her are terrified something awful is going to happen. And they said she came to work looking terrible all the time. I think a lot of us were able to witness that. So the shock jock, Wendy Williams, continued to cause concern among her fans when she sat out of her entire final season in order to get her health issues under control. And, the representatives, they were struggling, blaming things on her thyroid condition, COVID at one point. And it appeared to be much worse than that when she was transported to a hospital for a mental health check. So there's a lot, right? Here's the last thing about this, and then I want to know how you feel about this, Jaded. Back in New York, another source claims that alcohol and substance abuse has been at an all-time high for Wendy Williams since she left Miami. We know that Miami is actually where Wendy Williams' parents live. So 5%, okay, yeah, so she admitted to having 5% of feeling in her feet. And another source claims that she won't be able to do the podcast with any sort of deal. What are your thoughts about Kelvin Hunter placing the blame about Wendy Williams' addiction issues on the production company for not wanting to give her any time off to assist with her really getting the help that she needed?
I think that is one of those situations where we really, really, really won't know unless we were like to know her personally or to work with her. And we're going to kind of see it from our own bias in terms of like our own addiction, if we had it, or like family or friends, or like however we observed it. I believe that it's plausible that production wouldn't care about your sobriety. I believe it's extremely believable that the engine that is Hollywood entertainment, you got to make money, either ignored or didn't care in terms of what was going on with Wendy. And then also there could be a small part of it is maybe some of it is what she put out. Maybe. Some people are hard to work for and work with. It is what it is. They might be great people. They're great friends. They're great family members, but the people under them, their subordinates, they don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So it could have been a perfect storm of a little bit, maybe 5 or 10%, maybe 5% of she was just demanding, persnickety, her word. And then you got the situation where either they knew or didn't care, because at the end of the day, they were just more worried about the bottom line and the money and the brand, and they didn't care about the woman attached to it. And it's hard because you got a messy brand attached to a person who can be messy. But she's a person, if we want to be objective. So yeah, I feel like it's unfair, but I kind of want Kelvin to stop talking, like go live your life.
I want him to stop talking, but I appreciate him placing blame on the workplace, right?
Yeah.
Because this sounds like, does Wendy get a certain amount of days off, right? When you're sick, regardless of what you're sick with. It could be a mental health day, it could be the flu, it could be COVID, it could be addiction. And addiction is a sickness that you do need time to heal from. So for you to say, for a workplace to say rather that we're not giving you no time off, you need to show up to this chair, that's pressure, right? I even feel that in my regular job because I feel like, look, if I get sick and I take off for a week and a half or for 2 weeks, whoever is replacing me at that time, by the time I'm ready to come back, who knows how well my replacement has done, which may make it easier for them to push me out the door. And media is very cutthroat like that, right? And, for Wendy to have had needed that time off to detox, to wean herself off of these things, and for them to say no, it's basically them denying her time off. And she probably felt, right? This is just my assumption, because these are just workplaces, right? She felt like, I don't want anybody to take my place. If there's anybody that steps in for a couple of weeks and they do well, I'm gonna be chop suey. It's not like Wendy is this young, hot 23-year-old that's got 3 more decades of, good work time in her, right? So I kind of feel like, why wouldn't you give her the time off to make sure that your co-host is okay? I get it. You've got advertisers. You've got people that need to be, but if the talent is not well, you're ultimately trash. And y'all would rather her show up and slur her words and pass out rather than her take the week that she needs off to get well. Like, these employers don't care. And this is whether you're on a regular broke level, right? Like you and me. I'm not assuming you broke, Jaded. I'm just saying, like, we ain't got Wendy money. So it's like, these employers don't care about you,
Right.
And it sucks to think that they're thinking of whoever's taking your place, if they do well enough, that they may be booting you to the side for that reason. And why not give it a time off? Why not give it a time off? Why not give it? Eventually, y'all had to deal with the time off. Y'all had to deal with the time off, and y'all had to find co-hosts and other types of replacement. And Calvin was trying to assist with that. Calvin was the one who suggested Nick Cannon and some other people. He even suggested Tamar Braxton and Mariah Carey. I mean, he had a whole lineup planned to give Wendy the time she needed to recover. And instead, they were denying her time off and saying, I don't give a hell. If you're on planet Mars, you need to show up to work tomorrow. It's an unrealistic expectation to think that. And I get it, talent that needs to show up every day and show face. Radio is different because you might be able to freak that from home. I saw the Breakfast Club and a lot of other places working from home when the panorama first started. But we talking about showing face and all that other stuff. Look, time off is important. And people in media, honestly, you don't get a lot of time off because they're going to replace you. They're going to replace you. And that's just the business. So I feel like they could have done more. Honestly, when I first read the headline, though, I felt like, not you blaming them. That was how I felt. I'm like, not you. It's her responsibility to get well. But playing it back, even at my regular state, like, outside of me taking a 1-week vacation, I'm not taking too much time off because I don't want them to get too comfortable and too accustomed to who is filling my spot. That's how I feel.
I mean, I agree with that. It's kind of a lose-lose because they were tired of her for whatever reason, and then it had kind of run its course naturally in a sense. So I just think they should have just ended the show and created something brand new for Sherry or Nick or somebody instead of trying to like bring Wendy's fans over. I don't think it's going to work out.
I don't, and I hate to say, I hope it don't work out. I really hate to say that. I just hope that Wendy's fans are able to really prove something to Debmar Mercury. Like, you can't play us like this because they playing Wendy's fans. They're also playing Nick Cannon's fans with the way that they gifted her Nick Cannon's YouTube channel. So now she just got over 100,000 subscribers because she was gifted them because they're repurposing and rebranding Nick Cannon's YouTube channel to her. That's not fair. She needs to get it out the mud just like everybody else. Nick Cannon wasn't gifted nobody's YouTube channel when it came to his show. Why is she being gifted, viewers and YouTube? Like, it's a mess. Debmar Mercury, dirty game. Who knows who and where I'm gonna go in the media world, right? But Debmar Mercury doesn't sound like one. If y'all ever see me working for Debmar Mercury, child, check on me. Send me an inbox. Send me a DM. See if I'm okay. Because they really seem to be very cutthroat and to not care about the well-being of the talent. And that's really important. It really is really important. Shout out to Grace for the 99-cent super sticker. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. But yeah, I do think Debmar Mercury could have granted her some time off. Some time off for sure to get herself together. It's, especially when she showed up slurring as much as she. Wait till I get the clips. I'm so glad that even though the old channel got deleted, I still have a good collection of clips that Wendy is. She's not even on planet Earth. Like, her mind is in a whole nother dimension. And they should have, at the very least, if your employer feels like you're not really sick, right? Because there's sometimes employers could believe that you're not really sick if you play games, or maybe the employees, or maybe they just got trust issues, right? But once you show up and you're really sick, you're dizzy, you fall out, you throw up, you're slurring, then they know, okay, let's send you home and you need some time to get well, right?
Yeah.
There were too many signs for them to not grant her something. Just too many, right? In my opinion. That's just my humble little opinion. You have any other thoughts about Wendy Williams? Because we're going to go to a commercial in a second, and then we'll come back with the rest of our information.
No, I think I'm good. Because child, by this time I be in a dip, knocked out. So I know you want to get into the oh Lord have mercy, I done forgot the dang on other part, the Kelis and Beyonce, because everybody's talking about it. So
yeah, and I see you did a video about that, so I definitely want to know what you think.
Yeah. I'll definitely break it down in terms of that. But in terms of Wendy, I think we just gonna have to just keep watching. It's going to be this ongoing saga with her podcast and Kelvin and her son and Sherry, and I feel like we'll be talking about this for quite some time. Real talk.
Yeah, I think so. It will. I wish her the best. If the podcast does come out, I'm anxious to see it. Let's do this. Okay, Sticky, shout out to all 180 of us here in the chat. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already, because it's free. Okay, it's free to donate. It's free to support. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to go to a commercial. It's really quick. Okay, and drop some pancakes in the chat. We'll be right back.
So let's see if you're really about it. If you've been serious about what you've been saying about wanting to support more Black-owned businesses, here's your chance. I found a spot for us to grab our hats, hoodies, affordable electronics, phone accessories, and gadgets from. It's over on edwerso.com. That's EDWERSOW.com. Grab something for your hubby, your wife. Hey, I ain't encouraging that side chick behavior, but it's just in time for the holidays. So head on over there and grab your AirPod cases, hoodies, and affordable electronics. That's edwerso.com, EDWERSOW.com. And I'll see you over there. It's time to face it, boo. Your product needs more exposure. If you want to see your ad here on my channel, be sure to shoot an email over to yt.theplainestjane@gmail.com and let's chat. But if you're new in my neighborhood here on YouTube, hey, I'm the Plainest Jane, and I provide coverage and commentary on trending stories, viral events, and Black culture. I definitely appreciate you stopping through and hitting that subscribe button if you like more of my particular brand of syrup.
Okay, and we're back. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We've got some new sponsors coming along. I was able to contact and work out some deals with some Black businesses, so I'm really excited about that. There's another special announcement that I have for you all, but I've only released the information to the members only who are backstage. So to those of you all who know, you know early. I'm not announcing it to anybody else on the regular side until it's just about ready to launch. Okay. So shout out to Tiffany Brown and Sheena for the Cash App. I really do appreciate that. Leo, you're going to have to get out the way. Okay. Now, without further ado, let's get back into our lineup for this evening. Okay. Jaded, what are your thoughts about, there's two things, and whichever one you want to start with, the Beyonce versus Kelis debacle, and or the Beyonce album. If you listen to it, you can take it away.
I didn't get a chance to listen to her album yet. Okay. I'm not the diehard Beehive fan, but I appreciate good music and artistry and hard work. I just haven't had a chance to kind of listen to it. I did kind of check out what Kelis had to say, and kind of look into like why she's mad at Pharrell, and the debate about, is she justified in being angry because does she own the masters, the rights, to the songs or whatever is being sampled in this song on Beyonce's album. And I don't know, it's really kind of hard to kind of determine what was really going on. It feels like it was more so like she just feels like it wasn't a courtesy. She didn't extend that courtesy. She didn't reach out to her, I guess, woman to woman, I guess, Kelis is going through a lot. I didn't know her husband had passed away. I had no idea
Yeah.
he was 37. She's running the farm. She has a hair business, a skincare business.
I think a
I
cooking
guess,
page too, right?
yeah, I didn't know. I had no idea. So she's got a lot on her plate. And I guess maybe this was just kind of triggering for her. Maybe she just feels like maybe, hey, I'm Kelis. I got songs. I have hits. I got a body of work too. And I guess maybe she felt like, put some respect on my name. So in terms of that, that was interesting to me. It's a lot that goes into Beyonce's brand and her machine. So I don't know. That's why I feel like she's really directing it at Beyonce, because in terms of like legality, her team, she got a lot of money. I'm not saying they're
Yeah.
perfect, but they do try to avoid mistakes. So maybe Kelis just felt like, dang, you speak about women and lifting women up, and you just kind of ignored me as a woman. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a woman, so I can't speak from that perspective. Just
Mm-hmm.
my outside opinion looking in.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that Beyonce, just straight business, right? She doesn't own the master. If technically Beyonce had to go through Pharrell in order to get clearance for that song or that music, the backing track, because to my understanding, um, it wasn't even Kelis's vocals that we used in the song. It was just the instrumental, the music, the background, which Kelis didn't create. Pharrell and them did. Do you feel like Beyonce maybe owed her something?
I feel like she just, for some reason, she I guess feels disconnected from the industry. She spoke about how she and Beyonce knew each other and had a way to contact one another. And I think she said she felt like this prior to some other stuff she had done that she feels like Beyonce was inspired by.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know if it's like a case of she just feels like, yo, I'm on the inside too, so you can kind of treat me differently. Or maybe it's displaced. She's grieving still, perhaps
Mm-hmm.
overwhelmed, maybe. Or maybe
Yeah.
she's just like, look, right is right, wrong is wrong. She never really got any kind of like justice with what Pharrell did to her. And maybe she's at a point where anyone associated in any capacity, whether it's a little bit or a lot, you're gonna get that work. And she's giving Pharrell work, and she's calling out how she feels about Beyonce in a sense. And it's hard because a lot of people have a lot of hero worship for her, and it's difficult to kind of see things objectively. Do I hate Beyonce? No. Okay. Do I hate Kelis? Absolutely not. I think we got some black women. They're super talented. They do different things. It's a win-win-win-win for everybody because you're getting something different. But the business, like you spoke to, is cutthroat. And I think we're seeing a little bit of example of that in terms of what's ethically right, technically right, and then how people perceive that individually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. Shout out to my mods because I see the trolls, and then shout out to Mia Lynn for joining the channel and becoming a channel member. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, somebody said Leo cutting up. Leo is cutting up. Goddamn. Okay. So honestly, here's what I can say. I have never seen a yes. Kelis did say Rihanna kind of stole her pay. I tweeted about that earlier today. But here's what I want to say. I've never seen a Beyonce roll out a Beyonce album or project surrounded by so much negative press. It is surprising and interesting to see. It lets you know that nobody is off limits from a negative media storm. Just never seen it, right? We remember the Robin S sample that Robin made all this similar hoorah,
Oh
new
yeah.
noise about as it pertained to that song and being alerted via social media rather versus maybe the professional courtesy behind the scenes when again Robin doesn't own those I did a whole video on that. Robin doesn't own those masters, and truth be told, allegedly, right, according to my research, Robin S didn't even sing the original demo track to that song. She stole credit for someone from someone else. But that's a whole nother story. I did a whole video on that, really digging up those receipts. She did end up sending that woman flowers. Robin S. But Kelis, I feel like she's doing a bit much. I'm going to pull up the receipt right now as I'm talking, as far as what Kelis ended up saying about Rihanna stealing her footsteps as well. And I'm like, okay, Kelis, you're doing a little bit too much right now. You're doing a little bit too much. If you sitting here talking about, oh, Beyonce stole this and did that. Okay, that's debatable, right? And based off of being fans, we are naturally biased. I ain't even about to sit here and act like I'm not. I love Beyonce. However, business is business, right? But that doesn't mean that Kelis doesn't have the right to air out her discrepancies with this situation. Should she technically only be mad at Pharrell in a technical sense when it comes to who she signed over those, this bad deal with? Yes. But does she have a right to speak out against and to Beyonce because she didn't get a professional courtesy? Black woman to black woman? Yeah, she has that right too. It's just a matter of how people are going to land with it. Here's what I tweeted earlier, and here's the receipt in regards to Kelis saying something about Rihanna. So I tweeted earlier today. So now Kelis is basically saying that Rihanna rode the wave that she started. All right, Kelis, we've had enough. Sit down, sis. Right? But here's the receipt though, because someone said where I need to see it. So here's the receipt, and shout out to the Jasmine brand. Someone says, I feel like Rihanna rode a wave created by Kelis. Here's Kelis. Let's not open that Pandora's box today. LOL. One step at a time. Right? So she didn't deny it. She said, not today. We're going to do one step at a time, which means this is a sentiment that she agrees with. Okay? And so I'm like, okay, Kelis, you either got the issue with Beyonce, whoever, both. Kelis hasn't been in the news, at least not for music, anytime recently. She has the right to speak up about what she's mad about, and she feels like sister to sister. Beyonce owed her something. All right, speak your opinion. How long are you going to speak your opinion about this? Is the question. And to transition over into Beyonce's album, which a lot of people are talking mess about. I mean, a lot of people are talking mess about it. Yeah, of course, Beyonce's never going to respond. And at this point, I'm not even sure if Beyonce is going to send her flowers like she sent Robin S. But as far as the music in the song, now I haven't had the time to listen to it. I can't wait to listen to it later tonight and this weekend, and then I'll be able to talk about it. But I've been hearing a lot of trash about it. I think a great amount of people either don't understand house music or they don't understand the bag that Beyonce is kind of trying to get to when it comes to house music and easy listening music, because easy listening music and stuff that can be played in the background of movies, can be played in elevators or whatever. There's a huge bag there. And Beyonce's getting older. She's not a senior citizen, I wouldn't say, but she's getting older. So we can't expect her to give her the bops that a Destiny's Child age, a 20 or a 30-year-old Beyonce would give. At what point are we going to accept the fact that she's 40? And so her making music that is a bit more mid-tempo, not as up-tempo, it's a thing. I mean, I feel like people want everything that they want. Like, this is my girl. I want her to make music for the girlies, the 20 and the 30-year-olds, but that's not her age bracket. And so to some extent, we get upset when we see people not acting their age, right? Especially when they're mothers. And Beyonce's a mother of 3. We get upset. We feel like, oh, you acting too young. Leave that to the younger girls. You still got Amber Rose. I'm a slut, but I'm a considerate slut. Like, girl, grow the fuck up. Okay? Because you're too old for that. You're a mother. Leave that shit to the city girls. So when it comes to Beyonce kind of mellowing out a bit and really honoring an era, if you don't or can't appreciate the house music era, then it's just not for you, And that's just how I feel based off of listening to break my soul. I haven't listened to the whole album, but I can't get upset at a mother being more mellow in the music and the energy that she exerts. This may be more enjoy. You know, you got to think, for a creative, the audience or the fan base, granted, if they've been there for a while, they may want or require or demand a certain type of energy that the artist or the creative ends up feeling like, that's not where I'm at no more. That's what I gave 10, 15, 20 years ago. Now I'm kind of mellowing out. At what point do we start respecting the artists as to where and how they're comfortable and how they transition? Everybody transitions, whether you create stuff, whether it be your taste buds. I used to like pudding in the first grade. I think it's the most disgusting thing in the world. Now I can't get with pudding or yogurt, and that's random, right? I just added that in. But I feel like we got to give room to Beyonce to want to transition. Like, we want the same Beyonce from Say My Name and Destiny's Child and Survivor and B-Day and everything else. We do realize she's growing older, right? What are your thoughts, Jada? Because I know you are very musically inclined, and I know that you have a lot of really great knowledge based off of the music age back in the day. So what are your thoughts?
I think it's really about preference, and I think when you've been kind of making music for a long time, you kind of look for ways to kind of reinvent yourself and kind of keep yourself interested and new and fresh. And maybe for her and her team, producers, songwriters, and stuff like that, they're just thinking, what kind of sounds can we kind of explore and play around with in terms of like, her demographic, which would be women and gay men. That's like her audience. And it makes sense to kind of do stuff that speaks to that. And I think with how Beyonce kind of does stuff, just my observation, she's very visual and very much on concept. So there's normally like a relationship between the title of the album, the theme, the songs, the visual aspect, how videos are done and what people remember. So she's bringing renaissance, and that's like what rebirth, renewal, rejuvenation. What's old is new again. So to kind of play around with some of these older genres, you know what I'm saying? Like house and stuff that's kind of been around. It's good music. And again, it's all subjective. So people are going to enjoy it because they like music. They like her. They like her brand. And then, of course, people aren't going to enjoy it because it couldn't be one way without having that representation. You got to have that yin and yang. One other point about Beyonce and at least her team and how they're doing things, they kind of understand the climate. They understand there's a saturation, in the market. And everybody's got a SoundCloud and a band this and a Bandcamp that and a streaming this and all that. So she does a really, really, really good job of giving people time to digest her work. And she studies, whether she's stealing or studying, but she has, she has a chance to kind of look at that, landscape and, what's the word I'm looking for? Just kind of adapt to it. So yeah, I feel like it's very strategic and it's a smart team. Yeah. The ethics or moral is up to how you see it, whether you're for or against her.
Yeah, and I think that what was the figure of speech? I see people laughing in the chat. You said whether she's stealing or what?
Studying or stealing.
Studying or stealing. I'm use that because matter of fact, I remember you wrote in your community tab something about imitation is not flattery, child. Studying or stealing, because I'm gonna steal that, Jaded. I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm gonna steal that.
Okay? Oh, that's cool.
Studying or stealing. All right, I wrote that down. Okay, so but here's my thing though. I think that Beyonce is above her time, ahead of her time a bit, right? Because she is very musically inclined. There may be quite a few people because music and art is so very objective, subjective. I'm sorry, it's subjective. And when you're early to the trend, nobody gets it. Is it ironic that Beyonce and Drake both were cooking a house music situation around the same time? Are they ahead of the trend? Are there about to be a lot more people who are about to come out with this? You got to think about it. when we think about trends and fashion or music or art in general, and art is very vague. It could be music, it could be fashion, it could be poetry, it could be whatever style. The first person to walk out with it oftentimes looks crazy as hell. Crazy as hell. And then when the general public gets a hold of it, everybody ends up following. And then you look back at the originator like, oh, that's what was going on. I think it's no secret that Drake, or no coincidence, rather, that Drake and Beyonce both. And as soon as Beyonce announced hers, here go Drake trying to drop his. I think they might be on to something. You got to remember, movie deals are a big deal. Like, having your song in a movie will make you more money or comparable to your entire album. Okay. And when you talk about easy listening, right, where the lyrics ain't doing too much, you can't break my soul, that's universal stuff, right? And that's just going based off of one song on the album. I don't doubt that we'll be watching a lot of movies, and if people are in clubs or in the club scene or whatever the case is, opening scene, closing scene, we're going to hear that song about people being resilient, right? Imagine a movie about people being resilient, making it through something, right? Variables and things and people trying to break them down. That's going to be a part of a lot of different films. And that's a whole nother bag. And I'm not going to say it's minimal effort, because who am I to say that Beyonce making house music takes, who am I to say that you don't have to exert as much energy with the house music as like the Survivor and the Writings on the Wall and the early Beyonce stuff. But it's a whole nother bag. And as the older you get, it is definitely about working smarter and not harder. I should be able to make the same amount of money or increase how much money I make by not having to exert the same amount of energy, by being more efficient, with what I do. And, a 40-year-old trying to act like a 20-year-old, that does exert a bit more energy than if you were just doing things that were age appropriate for you. I'm 30, you know what I mean? So me acting like a 20-year-old, and I remember what I was doing when I was 20, but me trying to relive my 20s, I would be exhausted. It's too much energy for me. But it was amazing when I was doing it when I was 20.
Right.
So,
You kind of don't realize it until you get past it. Then you realize, wow, I could do that. I can't do it no more.
right.
Yeah. And with the
So,
Beyonce thing, I kind of want to point out too, when someone kind of approaches the icon status, or like they've been doing it and they're like the face, it's hard to be critical, because you don't want to offend people. They have a huge fan base. They'll sting the hell out of you. I think we have to be very careful, because you still want to be able to be critical and give your opinion. And nobody is above reproach. I don't care how good the music is, if it's a bop. I don't care how beautiful they are, pardon me, how handsome, sexy, whatever. You have to be in a position where you're like, look, we enjoy this, or we appreciate your work, or maybe you didn't bring it. Until I can listen to the music myself, I'm not going to say the album is one way or another.
right.
What I will say is like, she has really done a good job of branding, in terms of, you don't know what she's doing, then there's a little bit of buzz and a little bit of interest, and then her marketing, promoting, her management, all of that stuff works so well together, and then you get this project. One thing I will say, I never feel like it's rushed or undone. I feel like whenever she does drop whatever she does, it's complete. So whether you like it or don't like it, you're not saying, oh, I don't like it because, she ain't finished it. Nah, she finished it. She definitely finished it. And thank y'all so much for just being here with me and all this stuff. So my bad, y'all. I don't want y'all to think I lost my energy. I'm good. I'm just an old man. But nah, I'll say this. Maybe Kelis should call Beyonce out, because not too many people will. I'll put that out there.
Yeah.
What you
I
think
mean, we had what? Azalea Banks is ruthless. I've been checking her page. I'm like, what she got to say? And sometimes it feels like the people who are calling Beyonce out, they're definitely looking for a response because they know it's an unpopular opinion to call her out, because Beyonce
Yeah.
does have a track record of being not only unproblematic, um, but being ethical. She has a track record of being ethical. And so it can be pretty popular to try to drag someone down who hasn't been dragged down before, and especially somebody who doesn't engage and doesn't respond to the dragging or the craziness. So, you know, that's what I can say. That's why I'm like, Kelis is going at it with a vengeance. I wonder if she's even willing to have a conversation with Beyonce, or if she just wants to rant online. Like, does she want to settle it? Does she want to try to reach a middle ground, or does she just want to, cause a ruckus online? That's what I wonder.
Yeah, I mean, I know she's mad at Pharrell, but I do kind of feel like, even though she feels like, and she's made some good points about her issues with Beyonce, but like, I really think she needs to get Pharrell out the way. Put
Mm-hmm.
that energy and that smoke into, reaching out to somebody that may be able to help you get your master's. And then once you get that, then she can really be in the driver's seat in terms of negotiating and being in the conversation. Like, look, I want my music used this way, my likeness to used that way. She can garner more respect and she can command more equity when it comes to, who they talk to about using her stuff. She doesn't have that. So I understand why she's always kind of like, yo, put some respect on it, but then you just don't have the what's the word? What's the phrase, James? You ain't got the legs to stand on. You don't own it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. That's the thing. I wish I had more knowledge or information based off of ownership, but it's just like, direct your energy where it's appropriate, but that doesn't mean don't
Mhm.
call out the people who you feel like are, partially morally responsible for why you feel the way that you feel. And she feels that Beyonce had an expectation, woman to woman, black woman to black woman, sister to sister, to at least give her the heads up. I can't fault her for feeling that way. And who am I to say, Kelis, shut up? I'm not going to say, Kelis, shut up. I am team Beyonce, and I am also team good business. And so, did Beyonce cheat her out of anything? In my opinion, no, on a business aspect, but I can understand the emotional side of it. And can't nobody tell her not to feel the way that she need to feel, you know? Shout out to Grace for the $4.99 super chat. I really appreciate you. I want to bring somebody up that I'm really excited. I'm really excited to bring up. This is somebody that we all know. I know this person. Well, not like personally, like I've never met him in person, right? But I know this person. Jaded knows this person, and we're gonna bring her up in a moment. Let me read the super chat. Grace, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. We're coming out of a dark area. People don't want lemonade. We just want to dance. And that's what a lot of people feel about Beyonce making dance music. Is like, listen, the world is just in a crazy place. Let's just feel good. And I respect people who have, I watch some people's YouTube channels. That's why I keep a good balance here, right? Some people, they just don't want to talk about negative stuff. They don't want to talk about sad stories. They don't want to talk about police brutality. They don't want to talk about a black person who was just killed and shot by the police. And it's not that they don't want to acknowledge the negativity. It's that it's like, listen, when you look to me, when you plug into me, I want to make sure you're enjoying yourself and be and shed a light and bring you positivity, because there's enough negative stuff happening. And so I think that's also some of the reason behind Beyonce coming out with this dance record. But I think we have a contrary opinion up here, which I'm really excited about. So make sure y'all hit thumbs up. Let's welcome our next guest, okay?
Hey, thanks for letting me keep you connected and in the know with what's happening in the Black world. Don't forget to smash on that like button for support and for more Black news.
All right, so shout out to Princess. How are you today, Princess?
Hi, girl. You over here gassing me up, making me feel good.
I'm like, I know this is a mutual. I know that, you and I, myself and Jada, we both, we both know you. I bump into you in Jada's chat all the time. So I do appreciate you coming through. And I saw some of your comments in the chat. What are your thoughts? Because I saw something about like not properly paying homage in reference to Beyonce. What are your thoughts about
Okay,
Beyonce's
first
album?
let me say that I am a card carrying VIP member of the Beehive since about 1996. So I am not a Beyonce hater by no means. I'm truly a fan, but I'm just real about artistry and the business of it all. Um, I'm privy to a lot, like, either I know them or I'm 1 degree away from a lot of house music legends here in Chicago. House music and deep house was created in Chicago. So we just had the annual chosen few DJs picnic, and that is like a whole weekend of nothing but house music and house music DJs, and everybody come through, and them people pay and they dance all weekend and drink, and it's like a house music family reunion. So that was just a couple weeks ago, right on the cusp of Beyonce's song coming out. And the people here, it's not so much totally Beyonce, but it's the media rollout of it all. And then they were already giving critiques to Drake's album, how it's a false sense of house. And a lot of the architects of house were not asked to be on these records and really show these people how to do it, or give them the correct direction of what deep house is and what house music really is and where it comes from. So then the media is out here like, yeah, Beyonce putting house on the map, and Beyonce is resurging house, and these house music DJs like, I've been getting money, we've been doing this. House music has never went away here. Like at every party, you gonna hear, I hear you say, hey, hey, like it's popping. So, they like, well, what do we, chop liver? Like, she don't get no respect, or she doesn't get honor for that because we created that. She just decided to sing some house music. So it's not that they against her singing it. Nobody's against it. And I think I've gotten to like song 3 or 4, and it's, from what I heard, it's not even straight house. It's a mixture of house and techno and dance. It put together, it's like a whole different genre so far from what I feel that she's created on this album. And it's not the original, like it's not house music. So they're putting, she's not even doing straight house. She's not.
That's interesting. So she's, I guess you could say, and correct me if I'm wrong, do people feel like the people who have really studied it and know it personally feel like she's stealing the likeness without, I won't say paying homage, but really including the pioneers?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Yeah. Like just, they kind of like just put some respect on our name. Like, you ain't make us, we make you. We giving this to you. You not giving it to us. And that may not be all her fault either. Again, the media put stuff out there, and some of the Beehive members, they go rogue and they be like, yeah, she did this. And like I said in the chat, it's akin to when Beyonce discovered Bob Fosse. Okay, so I know the single ladies dance. I don't want an award in a contest for doing the single lady dance. But then somebody saw a Bob Fosse video. Well, where did this come from? No, she borrowed that from them. This been around. She's inspired by a lot of people, and there's nothing new under the sun. Stop saying that Beyonce created the world, because she didn't.
Well, I mean, I don't think she's pretending to create the world. I think that's why she's using so many of the records. I think that's why she's sampling.
Well, that's what the fans do. Not so much her. It's what the fans do.
Well, yeah, you know what? Stans do be taking it a bit. Yeah, stan culture is, it can be pretty toxic. That's why I try not to be a stan for anybody. I'm only a stan for Leonardo DiCaprio, which is why I named my cat Leo. because Titanic is my favorite movie. But no, you know what? That's a really good point. I don't know what to say. Jaded Nerd says my laptop. Oh, Jaded, do you want to say something before maybe your laptop dies?
Oh, I just want to say, hey, Princess, it's always a pleasure. Princess is amazing. She's always helping out in the chat, supporting me. I love her 50/50, the ratchet and the news. So if y'all haven't subscribed or you want something else to kind of watch and support, yo, go check it out because you need a little bit of both, a little bit of ratchet, a little bit of news, yo. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of feel like between the three of us, you got Jane giving us investigative reporter, black news, black excellence. I'm a little bit of mess, a little bit of country, a little bit of rock and roll, and then you got Princess giving you some ratchet and some news you can use, and you put them all together and it kind of works. So yeah, I didn't want it to drop off, and then y'all be like, "Yo, he just left," but my stuff's kind of dying on me and I don't want to just pop off. But yo, support Jane, support Princess, these black women. It's amazing. And that's what I enjoy. Y'all know I hate panels. I get freaked out. I have anxiety. I breathe. I panic. I hyperventilate. But it's really cool. And to the chat, even for people that was like, yo, Jaded, what are you talking about? Yo, Jaded, I support you. And everything in between, that's the best thing. Cause I can promise you, I'm gonna think about what y'all gave me and it's gonna make the conversation better for the next time. So I appreciate you, Jane and Princess. I hope we can do it again so we can kind of further the conversation because I got a lot to say about Beyonce and Rihanna and A. Marie and other casualties, but I don't want y'all to sting me, so I'm gonna go to bed and I'm gonna be a good boy.
Ain't nobody going to sting you. Like I said, we love contrary opinions because an echo chamber can be. I like a nice diverse group of opinions, whether it's two or three,
Oh yeah.
because it makes it makes it interesting.
And just again, support these women, y'all. Support these amazing black women. Do it. Don't just say hashtag protect black women, support black women. Take your black asses over there, your brown asses over there, and subscribe and watch the damn content. Order a mug, get you a t-shirt, and support the business. I'm
I'm
out.
over here blushing.
Thank y'all, everybody. I really appreciate y'all. I'm out. Y'all take care.
No problem, Jaded. Jaded, you gonna be woke after this live? The live probably shouldn't be longer than 20 minutes.
I'm gonna say yeah, but don't get mad at me. if I happen to fall into an old dip, okay.
I get it.
But I'm gonna just hit me. I might still be up.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna send you a message after the live end because I definitely wanted to chat with you about a couple things.
Okay. You take care, Jane. I got love for you. And take care, Princess. I got love for you. And I got love for your chat. Y'all take care.
All right, deuces. Have
All
a
right.
good night.
Can I
Oh,
add something about Kelis?
yeah.
And it's gonna be a little messy. Um, Kelis, I think Beyonce is right in this situation. It's like, girl, I don't know you. I sent my people to call your people to get the production done, and I'm sure Beyonce don't do a whole lot of producing when it comes to the sampling and making beats or what have you. I think Kelis is out of order for that. I think part of it is that she might be a little bit of jealous that Beyonce is everything that she thought she could be. And they came up and about at the same time. And Beyonce has surpassed her in her career, and Kelis got stagnated.
Yeah.
Working with the same producers, same people, same circles, and she just, didn't have it. And I kind of feel like what Funky says, it was a time where you could have built a bridge. Girl, you getting a check now that you wasn't getting. Well, I guess not because you don't own the masters. But, you could have been getting a check and you not.
Mm-hmm.
You just
I
mad.
agree. I think that, and there's something about great people. Because the thing is, Kelis is great. Like, can't nobody deny the sound and how creative and innovative the sound was that Kelis gave us. Because truly, I mean, between I Hate You So Much Right Now and so many other amazing things that she did with her music, she really is very experimental. And you can see that all over her person, which is why I had a hard time finding a picture for her for the thumbnail, because she's always just not morphing into a different person, but
she got makeup and cartoons all on her face.
Yeah. She experiments with so many different looks, so many different sounds. She's definitely willing to step out there, but I don't want to say she fell off as if there was something that she did wrong. The market sometimes they fall in love with trends, yeah. Right? And so no one can deny what Kelis has done, especially between her and the Neptunes. I know her and Pharrell have a terrible working relationship as of now, but they made some amazing music together. They really did. So no one can take that away. But I do think that someone who ended up being stagnant versus someone who ended up being just a national phenomenon, like the pandemonium that surrounds Beyonce, I think it's natural to for somebody to maybe envy that when she feels like, I'm pretty sure Kelis feels like, I'm just as great, I'm just as creative, I'm just as talented as a Beyonce. She just thinks she's better than me because fill in the blank, right? Whether it be her likability, her visibility, her record sales, her relevancy. I think it'd be natural for somebody like Kelis to feel some type of way about it. I do.
Do you think, at least based on rumors, that Kelis is the catalyst for her own career not going the way that she felt it should have gone, or her skyrocketing to a higher plane than what she did?
I'm not sure. Because I know she felt fucked over, and how you handle being fucked over when you feel like somebody's messing with your contract or messing with your money, it makes you react a certain way. And you know, who are we as the public to try to control how she reacted? But I think that was, I think her being screwed over and how she felt about it had a lot to do with her falling off. And it's not the fact that she got fucked over. It's maybe it hit her emotionally. And she kind of shut down and didn't maybe trust a lot of other people. Because, I mean, after Pharrell messed her over, what else was there? We had Milkshake and everything else. But what came after that? I think she shut down. It's just like being out in the dating world and somebody really crushes you to the point where you're depressed for 6 months, maybe even a year. You don't rush to get back out there. You don't rush to let me mess with some more people, even though this person just messed me over. So I can't say that she's. But what is your thought about it?
I can agree with some of that. You know, because I never really until recently kind of paid attention to those details. Again, I feel that she has some internal struggles, but then at the same time, I'm trying to think of the timeline when she married Nas and got with Nas, and I'm trying to figure out if part of that time she sat on her career in order to be his wife, like we have a tendency to do as women.
I see a lot of people right now saying, I'm glad Nas got away from her. She just talking and talking and talking, and all people say is, I'm glad Nas got away. And I'm like, oh my God. But I mean, you know, who knows, between the Nas situation and then her most recent husband who passed away, some people do hypothesize that she's lashing out. So I can't say it's necessarily.
Well, she's constantly had a issue where they say her attitude was terrible. So that's been always on the table. And then we could see what went on between her and Nas in the public. So
it's you know, and if she's a, you know, really emotional person, which, you know, honestly, a lot of artists are. I feel like excuse me, I was about to say Kelis. I know somebody named the name I was about to say. I know a couple of different people whose names end in Reese and start with the K sound. But I feel like Kelis has a lot of emotions, but I do feel like she has strong boundaries though. Something about her strikes me like I have strong boundaries and no, I'm going to speak out against this. And some people may feel like it's too much, but yeah, she strikes me as that type of person. And sometimes people with boundaries, they're not willing to, when you are in Hollywood in general, regardless of what genre it is, it's a gamble to have to negotiate your moral compass, your boundaries, what you're willing to deal with, your tolerance with the powers that be. And I think that Kelis is one of those people where she did it for a certain amount of time. And then between her personal life and Hollywood and everything else, she said, you know what? F this. I don't need it. I can cook. I can crop. I can grow stuff. I don't need y'all. So I'm going to sit down. And, I respect people like that. So I think that, I don't think that Kelis was necessarily knocked out of the spotlight. I think she just decided that she doesn't want to negotiate her piece anymore. And when you are negotiating with trying to be on top in Hollywood as it pertains to music or whatever the case is, and especially as you get older, right? Because once you're over, let's just say 27, 20, once you start tapping 30, they start looking at you different because you don't have what a young,
you
fresh
age out, right?
19, 21-year-old has. So I think that she just completely stopped, her willingness to negotiate with Hollywood and trying to be popular. Kelis was easily popular, in my opinion. I feel like Milkshake might have been the peak, in my opinion. But when I had started falling in love with her being such a unique, rebellious creative was the I Hate You Right Now time. And there was another music video that
came before Milkshake. That was actually her first single.
Really? What was do you remember
I was 18. They were still selling CDs when that came out. And I remember I bought that album.
Do you
that
remember
was
the
her
music
first single.
video that was kind of the imagery of it was mimicked after you know the movie The Nightmare After Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Where she was kind of like taking her head off and she was like a doll. That was a music video she did one time like that. And that's when I really fell in love with her. It was a music video that was always on BET. So it was in her indie days more so that I had really fell in love with her creative aspect. Get Along With You. That's exactly what it was. Because I know the song in my head, but I ain't trying to sing it. It's got a specific key to it. And while I can sing a smidge, that's got a very special key to it that I don't think I can hit. I think really only Kelis can get that song. But yeah, I've realized she's willing. It gives me Andre 3000 vibes. Andre 3000 is willing to try whatever. He don't care how you feel. He's going to wear a turban. He's going to sing whatever, do whatever, play a flute, give you an interlude. And Kelis is that very different creative. I think she just stopped trying to bargain and negotiate with Hollywood. I can't blame her for that because Hollywood is dark.
Well, when in that era, music was taking a big turn from alternative to pop and a different type of R&B, and they were all running in the same circles. That was right before Outkast came out with the Bombs Over Bad Day album. I can't even think of the album right now. I'm picturing it in my mind, but that album came out like a year or two later. So that was an era where people were able to change and, play with different sounds and different imagery as far as Black people was concerned, and people were buying it. And she had that popularity because she was different. And a lot of these artists were different and they weren't penalized for it. Like now, okay, we got Beyonce being different today and it brings it all back full circle. Now you're kind of penalized for it because we want this. But in that era, in the late 90s, different was great. That was Total was out. Diddy was producing some of everybody. They were big. And then you could jump right back over to Master P and his clique. And then you had a drama coming out. Missy Elliott and Timbaland were on the verge of really hitting hard. Like that was when they start, when Aaliyah was still around. So you had so much to choose from. So being different was like, yeah, you know, let me get into it. And because there were just so many genres of music. And that was also during the NSYNC and, you know, what's the other ones? Backstreet Boys were big. The Box was still on. Like, so you could you could get anything, you know. So, and people were able to cross over and do different types of things. So it was just different.
Yeah, it was. That was a time. And you know what? I never thought about that until now. Excuse me, Leo. Can you get down? The people trying to see me, not you. Dang. That's a really good point. And I never, thank you for bringing that up, Princess, because I never thought about and I do remember I used to love getting ready for school in the morning, having either MTV or VH1 playing and having those music videos plays. They are deeply woven into the memory of my childhood. But at that time, yeah, you were rewarded for being different and for being eccentric and stepping out and just doing something that was unimaginable. Missy Elliott still has some very timeless music videos. You could play any Missy Elliott video from 1999 or 2003 and it still seemed very futuristic, although that was so long ago because it was so different. Now it's like if you don't fit the Instagram baddie mold, they're not going to rise you to the top. You have to be more of the same now in order to be successful, rather than being different and stepping outside of the box like you had to be back in the day. That's why I love the 90s. I'm a 90s kid. And I wish we could just go back, because music, the culture, Black culture, fashion, you name it, it was better. It was more fulfilling then than it is now. Now we are just bombarded with a slew of fake bodies, bad built BBLs, nose jobs, Black women who are ashamed of their, Black noses. That's why shout out to Ari Lennox. I love her nose, and people like to talk about it. No, I love her nose.
Beautiful.
She's beautiful as hell. Okay. Snoop Dogg tried to come at her about putting on her wigs on Instagram. It's a mess. It's a mess. And that's why I really enjoy. Thank you, Sunstar, my mod Sunstar, for getting that troll. I really enjoy what music was, what it used to be back in the day. Nowadays, it's so diluted, it's fake, it's phony, it's copy and paste, and it's annoying above all. It really is.
The gift and the curse of that was the start in the creation of social media.
Yeah.
During that time, they still had A&R people. You still had to know how to do an interview. MTV still played music. There was somewhat of a machine that kept us in line with the music industry. Some of it was bad. Now social media allows you to be an independent artist and get all your money. But there's an instantaneous, I want to make music right now and I'm going to be famous. Let me go viral. And people are not trained in the industry and trained to have ears, trained to be engineers and learning what the whole industry could be and is about, and becoming a full-fledged artist. So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, just the music industry nowadays is just it's a mixture between confusing and annoying, like period, point blank. Period, point blank. It just is. But so wait, yes or no question, you feel like Beyonce did Kelis wrong?
No.
Okay.
You don't owe her nothing. That's business. And you weren't a part of the business, man.
The business can be cold. It can be very, very cold. Not to say Beyonce like should or have a right to be cold, but you got to think like what problems could have arose from Beyonce going to Kelis and being like, "Hey, I'm getting these rights from Pharrell," right? And not to say she had to say that's all I need are the rights from Pharrell, but just to give you a heads up. Giving her a heads up would have opened the forum for Kelis to be like, actually, Pharrell did me wrong, and I don't, it could have opened the door.
And I think that Kelis saying what she said, she just could have said it a different way. You could have, instead of being all hard, you could have exuded your feminine energy, which I'm learning a lot about now. We're going to have some classes on that. Exuded your feminine energy instead of your masculine energy and said, man, Beyonce out here got me on that record and nobody told me. You know, and put your energy towards people you really need to be mad at. It's Pharrell and Chad. And you're like, you know, my feelings is hurt. Like, dang, that's how you do me?
Mm-hmm.
It might have changed the whole direction of the way this is going.
Yeah, I agree. The Tea Lounge says everybody had their own thing, and she's talking about back in the day. That's why the older generation isn't impressed by this brand of artistry. That is the truest comment that came through this chat. It really is. You know, this generation is not only is this generation more vulgar, they're not even willing to use their metaphors and metaphors and similes. They're more so caught up on double entendres, right? And double entendres are very important. However, you know, back in the day, they was talking about sex in the songs, and we were singing it in elementary and middle school. We didn't even notice what we was singing. By the time I was old enough to realize I had been singing, "Got a pole coming through on you," I was like, oh shit.
I don't know what song I was singing last week, and I just sat there and realized, like, this song was really nasty.
Yeah, like
the Isley Brothers is really nasty.
Yeah. Like, they was really making sure they put it, you know, but now all the music is, I want to fuck you in a bathroom. I fuck you while the water running. I'm like, oh my God, come on. Like, back in the day, they was a little bit, you know, more romantic. They were, you know,
yeah, somebody had posted on Facebook or some on YouTube, and they posted Barry Wright's telling me this and telling me that. Mm-hmm. And I just sat up there and listened to it. Like, we knew it was about sex, but I mean, like, but that was really, really explicit.
Right. He wasn't talking about, it's wet, let me stick it in. Let me pop your like, it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, this day and age with music, it's just, it can be comical, but it can also be more annoying. Raunchy is the word. We've gotten a lot more raunchy nowadays. There's nothing wrong with being blunt and upfront, but God damn, like, have some coof, like the old folks say, have some coof about you. Have some home training, okay?
And that's why I love Jaded. That's what made me fall in love with him. It's his verbiage for me.
Right. I love his vocabulary. I mean, his syntax, his diction, it's everything. It really, really is. Let's get into this story. Since you up here, Princess, do you eat Chick-fil-A?
I sure do.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure to serve you.
Okay. I used to work there, as a matter of fact, when I was a teenager. It was cool. It was probably one of the best jobs I ever had. It obviously just doesn't pay a whole bunch. But would you work at Chick-fil-A for 5 chicken sandwiches a day? That's the question. Would you?
I ain't working Chick-fil-A for nothing, because I've worked for McDonald's before, and I know what that work is like.
McDonald's is better. I worked at McDonald's too, child. Working for Chick-fil-A is so much better than working for McDonald's. Okay?
I'm sure it probably is.
They care about you. They care about you as a person. They care about you as an employee. But I'm starting to think things might be changing. Let me get into the story, right? While thousands of workers are walking away from jobs over compensation, a North Carolina Chick-fil-A has offered to pay volunteers. So they're not paying you money. They're paying you in chicken sandwiches. Okay? So this is in Hendersonville, North Carolina. They posted the opportunity on Facebook on July 26th. They say, quote, "We're looking for volunteers for our new drive-through express. Earn 5 free entrees per shift per 1 hour work. Message us for details." So they want you to volunteer for 1 hour at a time, and they're going to give you 5 chicken sandwiches for free. So it was quickly taken down as people ripped management apart for the offer, but the store's Facebook page is still being flooded with angry comments. The backlash has been so sustained, and the president of that store has limited who can post on its comments, but it has not slowed the criticism. Now, here's what the store said in response to the backlash. They say, quote, "Thanks for everyone's concern on this matter. This is a volunteer-based opportunity, which means people can opt in to volunteer if they think it's a good fit for them. We've had multiple people sign up and enjoy doing and have done it multiple times. People who sign up for this chose it voluntarily. We're still hiring full-time and part-time team members. So if you're interested in working in our store, we pay $19 an hour.
Ooh, yeah.
19. Let me tell you how I
Let
made.
me go get me
I'm
some
not even
more burgers.
I'm not even about to tell y'all how much I used to make at Chick-fil-A. Now, mind you, it was years ago. It was like it was literally 2009 when I worked at Chick-fil-A, and baby, $19. That's not what it was, right? Like that's crazy. How do you feel about this, Princess?
Well, we've only had Chick-fil-A up here 2-3 years. And they're still few and far between at this point. For me, I see some people saying insulting, but let's play both sides here. Somebody out there is hungry, okay? And it is voluntary. And some people just don't have nothing to do. And some people might just like them a good chicken sandwich every day. So I could get some chicken sandwiches and some macaroni and cheese and some waffle fries and some polyamory sauce. That's more than $10 an hour free food for an hour sitting there just giving out some burgers that I ain't got to do much work for. Now, if I get the EBT or whatever, now I get to get some extra food, or I get to say I'm doing job training. I can still out here and work under the table and do my hustle and say I'm working, I'm interning, and go do some other stuff. Like there could be some perks to this. Now, if you on the scamming tip like Mr. Whitehead, there are a lot of different ways you could go with this. Okay, some people, like maybe an older person, just want to be there, just need something to do. So here, go ahead, give me some sandwiches down to the Chick-fil-A. Okay, and boom. So I mean, again, they right, it's voluntary, and some people might just want to help, and or they just like chicken sandwiches. You can't get no chicken sandwich real good. 15 years old, it might be some hungry people there, might be some well, they don't necessarily even have to be homeless to be hungry, as long as they clean up and they say, well, I can stand here and serve you your hamburger, just give me one. It might be a good deal for some people. So, I don't know. Let me see. It can be in my head. Where you from, T Lounge? So yeah, if you volunteer Chick-fil-A, stolen cars, parking space, direct cars, chicken sandwiches, there's nothing wrong with that. And think about it. Okay, so if you go get you and I call it polyamory sauce every time I come through the drive-through, it tickles them, that it takes them by surprise. Okay. If you go get you a combo meal, and I like to get the what is that? The frosted lemonade. You already paying like $10 or something plus some change just to get one meal. So this say 5 chicken sandwiches an hour or 5 entrees an hour. So that's dang near $40 worth of food that you're getting, and you can feed your whole family for like 1 hour. Now, if you do 2 hours worth of work, you can bring your boys there, your homies there, and you can feed them too, just for a little bit of nothing. You know what I'm saying? You can sit out there in a parking lot, and as long as you don't be too loud and they can put you out, you know, because you got to praise the Lord over there at Chick-fil-A for a couple of minutes.
Exactly.
You good.
That was my thought. My thought was, for people who want to feed their family who really feeling broke, if they want to donate 1 or 2 hours a week, right? Because it seemed like, based on the wording, that they might only be allowing you to do it 1 hour at a time for 5 entrees. I mean, 1 hour to feed your whole family. Chick-fil-A can be a luxury to some people. You know what I mean? It is the most luxurious. I won't even say arguably or debatably. Chick-fil-A is the most luxurious fast food restaurant you can go to. You can fight me on that. Fight me. We can tussle. You name me a more luxurious, right? I used to always call Chick-fil-A the Nordstrom of fast food restaurants. You name me a fancier fast food or quick service restaurant than Chick-fil-A. Name me one. Don't worry. I'll wait. I mean, You know what I'm saying? An hour to get, imagine and if you're a single mom with 4 kids, or if you're in a healthy relationship with 3 kids and it's 5 meals, or let's say you got 5 kids and a husband and the one child is 3 months and they eating the Gerber mushed up pears. Child, an hour? What's an hour? You know what I'm saying? To talk to people and ask them and say my pleasure and things like that and give out extra sauce. It seems like something to do, but I know some people feel like it's slavery. Child, they took that post down so fast.
It could be because people are deserving of their worth, but them hamburgers to them, that's some big money. But T. Jacobs said customer service will probably tank.
Yeah,
I don't think so, because what you read was they just gonna be running the drive-through, so it's not like they got to do a lot of work. They just taking an order and just giving it to you at your car.
Yeah,
boom,
they working.
have a nice day.
I was about to say the second window, but Chick-fil-A only has one window, so yeah, they working that one. And matter of fact, they be having 2 people in the window. They have one person that hang your food out and another person that collect the money, if they're fully staffed. So, but you know what? Something does sound janky, right? We being, I think for me, when I first saw it, I was like, I'm being greedy, right? Like, oh yeah, an hour for 5 shit. Sign me up. Shit, I do it. Like, what you want me coming Saturday at like 9:30? Because I
be sitting in the car hungry, and you put your pennies together, like, you know what?
Because I'll be
just
there.
go chill at the Chick-fil-A for a minute.
I live in a house and it's just 2 of us. I do it because when you put it in the air fryer, it tastes like brand new. So I do it today, and me and whoever eat the one meal, and then we'll eat our other meal today. But you know what? Something does seem very janky about volunteers at a paid business. Something does seem very janky about that. Could you imagine McDonald's saying that we're gonna give you 5 Big Macs? Like, you know what? I think that changes it, because when I think about 5 Big Macs for working at McDonald's, I'm like, if you don't get the fuck out,
well, they ain't gonna never do it, because back in the day, when minimum wage was like under $5. That's how old I am. You work at McDonald's, we used to basically steal extra meals. That's how I gained my freshman 15, baby, because I put that extra chicken. I made me a double chicken sandwich, whatever. But they were like, you can get your drinks for free, but for your hour shift or whatever 4-hour shift, you could take up to $4.35 worth of food. And I will close, and one of the supervisors would rather throw the food in the garbage under regulation than to let us have it.
Dang. $4.35. Okay, got that amount down pat. I mean, most places be letting you get free food, but 1 hour is 1 hour. I ain't gonna lie, like 1 hour go by fast. You coming into an environment, you don't really know much about it, right? I know some people saying we'll work for food, but you got, how can I say this, right? There's some people saying the homeless people gonna be signing up. All the homeless people can't do it because, if they don't have the clothes or the, the hygiene required, then they're not gonna be able to do it, unfortunately. So this is not an opportunity, in my opinion, for the people who are fundamentally hungry and really just need to eat to survive. The people living on the streets, because if you are living on the streets, there are, certain things associated with that lifestyle that are not going to fly. And not only a basic customer service industry, but not the Nordstrom of fast food restaurants. But I did see somebody else in the comments referencing Shake Shack. Shake Shack is another one of those bougie fast service restaurants. It is. I've been there. Shake Shack reminds me of In-N-Out Burger.
We have one. It's called Portillo's. I had to think about it. That's about as close as we gonna get. And they don't say all kind of niceties, but they do nice things there.
Yeah, they do. And it tastes really fresh. That's the thing. It tastes really fresh there. It does. It absolutely does. Well, I'm going to move on to probably the last segment of the show this evening. Princess, thank you so much for coming up here. Maybe we can arrange some shows in the future, okay, for you to come on and maybe co-host on some other days. This was really fun. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get into the Black History moment, and then we're gonna get out of here. I think I do have a sticky note for y'all as well. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this show up. This has been a really good show. It's been long, but it's been a really good show. Okay. So let's get into the Black History moment. If you haven't already taken a moment to hit the thumbs up button, make sure you do so. Otherwise, we can. Yes. Yeah, what's going on? All right. Hit thumbs up because I have to deal with the cat. The least you can do is pay me for my pain and have to deal with this cat. Hit thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already. Okay. Let's get into the Black History moment. Let's get into the sticky note, and then we gonna get out of here. What else we got to do? Okay. We're gonna be on the backup channel this evening. Not this evening. Let me take that back. We're gonna be on the backup channel this weekend. Okay. So make sure you subscribe if you're not already. The backup channel is linked down below in the description box, as you will be able to see. It'll be the fourth blue lit up link you can see down there. It'll say at TPJ Network. Click on that thing and subscribe to that thing. But for now, let's get to the Black History moment, get into the sticky note, and then we're going to get out of here, right? Y'all can enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. Drop some pancakes in the chat, and we'll be right back with some Black History. Okay.
Now let's spend a little bit of time with our ancestors, or at least listening to them, because you know they always tell us you don't know where you're going unless you know where you came from. So let's get into a little bit of Black history with this Black History moment.
They got me in the system. Why they gotta do me like that?
I know I can be what I wanna be what I wanna be.
We've got love for y'all, which I don't know.
About the city.
Get down.
I love that theme song. I put them songs together pretty well, if I don't say so my damn self. Okay. Y'all see this man on the screen, and listen, first of all, shout out to Black History. Black History honestly is happening every day. All right. And Black History is so much more than a month. I hate the fact that we were given Black History Month the shortest month of the year. That was definitely by design and on purpose. But Black History Month is so much more than those 28 or 29 days that we get granted in February. And when we talk about Black history, let's talk about ice cream, okay? Ice cream man, okay? When we talk about vanilla ice cream, who do you think is responsible for that? It's us, of course. A 12-year-old slave, right? A 12-year-old slave, his name is Edmund Albius. He invented the technique that made the vanilla industry possible. And it's still used today, as nearly all vanilla is pollinated by hand. Now, he revolutionized the cultivation of vanilla. He made it possible for us to enjoy treats like vanilla ice cream. So the next time you are out there trying to track down the ice cream man, the next time you're trying to get the ice cream truck to stop for you, and you see all the other kids and all the other people out there, make sure you tell somebody out there, hey, listen, if you're getting vanilla, you know we made that, right? You know, because sometimes it's just those random moments when we are enjoying certain luxuries and certain inventions and different things that were innovated by us. The next time we're enjoying said thing, tell somebody that's around you, you know we made this, right? Right? Because, you know, the history has been whitewashed to a major extent. And a lot of times we forget how much we are responsible for as a people. Here's a statue of him as he got a little bit older. So, yeah, the next time you eat some ice cream, and I pretty much only bang with vanilla. I don't like chocolate ice cream because I feel like it has a little aftertaste to it. I do strawberry, right? I'll do mint chocolate chip. I definitely do cookie dough. But for the most part, I do vanilla. Okay, so next time you go get a McFlurry or a sundae from from McDonald's or wherever you're getting ice cream from, or even a vanilla milkshake, tell somebody that black folk. Okay, matter of fact, let's go ahead and say his name again. Edmund Albius. He invented the technique that made the vanilla industry possible and is still used today, as nearly all vanilla is pollinated by hand. He revolutionized the cultivation of vanilla. Can you imagine being 12 years old really doing something so revolutionary that every time people eat vanilla ice cream, it's because of you? Could you imagine? Princess said, we own everything. We do. We absolutely do. So I just wanted to share that. It's a little tidbit, but it's a big deal, right? It's definitely a big deal, right? So shout out to all of my channel members. And first of all, shout out to my co-host this evening. Shout out to Leo, who was getting kind of impatient and cranky. Shout out to Jaded Nerd. And shout out to House of Princess for coming through as well. I think that we'll be able to do some really great collaborations in the future. We'll probably need to plan it out. So maybe I'll talk to Princess and Jaded Nerd after this to see maybe, what we can and cannot do. Because it's nothing like black people coming together to do what needs to be done. Now, let's get into the sticky note and let's get out of here. It's the weekend. It's Friday night. It's 1 a.m. I'm ready to get out of here, but I do want to give y'all a really good sticky note, okay? As always, before I give you the sticky note, I'm getting ready to play this clip. This commercial really just pays homage. My channel members really deserve for me to play this clip. Sometimes I feel like, oh, don't nobody want to hear this clip, but this clip is really thanking my channel members while also encouraging other people to join the membership, right? Because those are people who pay a certain amount of money a month, and my memberships, they only start at $1.99 a month, which is basically just what, 50 cents a week, $2 a month, 75 cents a week. It's too late for me to do math. Was $1.99 divided by 4. Yeah, that's 50 cents a week, right? No? Yeah, 50 cents a week. But the channel members, they support the channel. We do our members only lives. We did a private celebration for my 10,000 subscriber milestone the other day. And this is just to really thank and appreciate my channel members, but especially my mods too. My moderators and the people in my Discord. If you are a part of the membership, you should have the Discord link and you should be a part of the Discord if you have, or if you're interested in the app. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play this commercial that thanks all of my channel members. We do have some new commercials coming up with some new black brands that I think y'all will be really excited and you'll be interested in purchasing from. But nonetheless, right, let's get into my members appreciation. Drop some pancakes in the chat. Drop your special emojis in the chat if you're already a channel member. If you're not a channel member, just drop some regular pancakes. We're going to be right back. I'm going to give y'all this sticky note, this motivational moment from your girl, the plainest Jane. Then I'm going to send y'all about y'all business. If you could also make sure you do me a favor while we playing this clip. What are you having for dinner? Because I got to go downstairs when I end this live and figure out what I'm having for dinner. And sometimes when y'all type in the chat what y'all having for dinner, it be inspiring me or whatever like that. So yeah, let me know. Okay, let's get into it.
The plainest Jane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some black, and she said, loves me some black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
So wait a minute, you ain't joined the channel yet so that you can access special perks over here with the plainest Jane?
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
Ooh, watch this. Hey, I'm the plainest Jane. I'm a cultural commentator and informant, and I provide sticky coverage on trending stories, black news, black culture, and everyday topics with a sticky, abstract perspective. So get familiar with the perks. I've carefully curated all of these things, and it's just a little exclusive glaze to amplify the way that you express yourself. So get comfortable, get used to our official emoji over here. That is the pancake stack, because it's always sticky in Hollywood and in real life, and especially when you spend the time over here with the plainest Jane. Like I said, I hope you enjoy the exclusive glaze that I've provided for you to amplify the way way you express yourself, and I hope you enjoy the digital vibe. Hey, listen, I always want you to keep it sticky, but be sure to think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. But most importantly, I hope that you're feeling all right, and hopefully you've had some time to tackle some of your invisible problems. I know I got a couple of new subscribers, and I just want to say thank y'all. I really do appreciate you. And if you're not quite feeling all right, this channel right here, once you join, it's going to help you kick back and decompress always, but it'll also keep you in the know with what's happening with the best Black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. So again, get comfortable. The first drink is on me, all right? Act like you got some sense, and I'll see you around. But don't forget to keep it sticky 24/7 by following me on Instagram, but hit that notification bell so that you always know when I upload and you get your dose of syrup first. Now, with all that stickiness being said, the most important thing I want you to remember about this neck of the woods, and the plainest Jane, is Black Lives Matter. And if you don't agree,
Buy pumpkin. That would take you out. I don't play that shit.
Now you gotta go for real.
it's just that simple. Hey, look, whether you join or not, I do want you to stay beautiful, Black, and blessed. And just know I appreciate your support. I'm your girl, the plainest Jane. And let's see what's happening in these virtual streets. You ready? All right now. This could be a crazy ride. I'm warning you now. And we're back. Let's get into the sticky note of today. You all who are my faithful stickies, right? My really supportive subscribers, right? I call y'all stickies. You know that the sticky note are motivational quotes that I craft myself. I don't take these from like popular quote pages. I craft these myself because these are things that I've written down, that I've journaled, that have helped me get over situations. And a lot of times, situations that we overcome and we get over, we face those obstacles again, and sometimes we forget how we overcame them. That's why I think journaling is so important. I love reading my old journals, and so I realized that sharing some of the motivational quotes that work for me, it motivates you all as well, and that is what got me into the habit of sharing them. So let's get into the sticky note of the day, shall we? The following video is broadcasting live, and thank you for being my studio audience. Thank you for hitting thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more Black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. So today's sticky note is this: misery will always be offended, right? Misery is always going to be offended by confidence and a wealth of excitement. Don't ever feel the need to make yourself small, but do take note on the company and the rooms in which you'll have the best experience spreading your wings and flourishing your full self. And let me just elaborate on this for a second. When I say this, I mean that some people in some environments would rather set you back and see you small because it makes them feel better about their mediocrity. So you have to be careful around whom and which rooms you celebrate, and you have a whole bunch of congratulatory energy in, because everybody don't want to see that. They don't feel that, and they want you to feel as low, as small as them. So when I say some people in some environments would rather set you back and see you small because it makes them feel better about their mediocrity, it means just that. People want to see you doing good, but they don't want to see you doing better than them. And so sometimes when you're celebrating your wins and the accolades and accomplishments that are associated with your journey in life, you got to watch for the people who aren't clapping along with you. For the people who aren't happy about you achieving things, they're sitting back, they're giving you these looks like, why they deserve that? Why does he or she deserve that? I don't think that watch the people in the environments that are not happy for your celebration. I'm not saying make yourself small and don't celebrate your wins. I'm saying be careful in who and where you decide that you want to celebrate. Because some people will see that celebration and they're going to find a way to rain on that parade one way or another. So just be careful, right? Because no one's saying that, oh, because you're achieving certain things, humble yourself and don't celebrate it. Because I'd be damned if I refuse to celebrate my accomplishments because some people want to see me lose. Because I'm going to celebrate because I deserve it. I've worked for it. But When we talk about being cognizant enough to have that situational awareness, to not celebrate in front of people, right, who want to see you fail, that is a part of being self-aware and just being vigilant and aware of your surroundings. These are the people who are complacent and they will project their insecurities onto you if you let them. So stay cognizant. Keep your head on a swivel. Remember, we were talking about the flashy pastor earlier today. It's not that you can't have nice things amongst broke people, but you flashing those things in front of people who want it, or people who satisfy themselves by tearing things and people like you down. It's not conducive to you, your journey, where you're going in life. So when I say misery will always be offended by confidence and a wealth of excitement, that's exactly what it means. Don't make yourself small, but take note on the company and the rooms in which you'll have the best experience spreading your wings and flourishing as your full self. And that's today's sticky note, okay? Now, if it resonated with you, be sure to comment down below. I'm doing me. Someone know it's real. Okay? I had to learn that the hard way, because when I'm excited about something, honestly, I gave a sticky note the other day about catering to your inner child, because when you cater to and you heal your inner child and you work on that inner child, whoever you were when you were 7 years old, that person is still alive in you. And when you cater to your inner child, it is conducive to your adult person. It is. And my inner child likes to celebrate and just be excited no matter who I'm in front of. But I had to realize how that can work against me. And it took me some time to really realize that you can't be celebrating all willy-nilly in front of everybody. And it sucks. It sounds like, dang, what is the world if I can't celebrate in front of any and everyone? But we're talking about survival. We're talking about maintaining the accomplishments that you are celebrating. And people will literally try to tear you down and make you sad and make you feel miserable, because that's where and how they are. So you got to be careful and just make sure you're celebrating in the right environment. And that's one of those life lessons that it took me a while to learn. And I'm glad that I learned it. I'm glad that I journaled it. And I'm glad that I can repeat it. Because although I might have learned that lesson in 2014, I'm sure I forgot it in 2016. And I had to reread it. And it resurfaced in that research. So sometimes y'all are getting sticky notes that I formulated back in 2012, 11. It might have been from last week. Might have been from this week. Who knows? But when I learn these life lessons, I try to encapsulate them. And I'm a very expressive individual outside of me really enjoying to talk, and that being one of my natural talents and skills. I love to write as well. I used to get in trouble for writing on walls about how I felt and what I was thinking. So I have a lot of feelings that I need to express, and I have to express. And I have found ways, which is why I think I'm so, successful with creating content on YouTube, is because I'm naturally expressive and I find a way to make it work for me. And if I can make it work for me and it help others too, that is a win-win-win, because I do have a helping spirit within me. Okay. So stop celebrating your wins around people who really do not want to see that from you. From people who really just would rather see you miserable. Maybe they met you when maybe you met somebody or a person. You made a group of friends based off of when y'all were all miserable and whatever. And you start winning and you start realizing that they starting to act different. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Cipher management. Okay. So shout out to the people who this sticky note resonated with, that are commenting, I'm doing me. Listen, I really do appreciate that. Listen, stickies, y'all be sure to tag me in all of your favorite trending topics on Instagram, on Twitter. Y'all know I'm more active on Twitter than Instagram, although I'm in both places. But Twitter is where I bees at, in the trap all the time. Okay? So make sure that you tag me and stuff. I had several people tag me and stuff today. Most of it was about the Will Smith situation. But look, Thank you for watching. Okay. Thank you for checking out the community tab. Thank you for subscribing to my backup channel. Okay. It's linked down below. It is also linked on the community tab. Don't forget to do something to decompress today. It's literally a little past 1 o'clock in the morning here in Baltimore. Baltimore, stand up. All right. Don't forget, we did some cussing and some cutting up in this video. So there's pretty much not going to be no money made on this video. So if you do want to send a Cash App, not required, but you can send a Cash App or a super chat or a super thanks. Those are appreciated, not required. And thank you to the couple of folks who did send a Cash App. Okay. Let me know your thoughts on all the things that were discussed today. We spoke about a lot. There were a couple things we didn't get to, but that's okay. We're going to get to them probably this weekend. All right. I love y'all so much. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay. And thumbs up or down. Either way, I appreciate it. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of this breaking black news, celebrity updates, the cultural and common sense commentary over here. Y'all know we already got it popping. Okay. You're more than welcome for the great episode. The Famecom Network said I had to cut them niggas off. They will beg to yeah, they will. Right. And some of these people, they'll pretend, getting back to the sticky note, they'll pretend to be there for you, to be about your success. But when you really start winning to a capacity that they know they aren't capable, or they aren't it's not that they're not capable, it's that they're not willing to put in the work to get the accolades that you are in the receiving in the meantime. They try to do things to derail you, and yeah, they will backdoor you. I learned my lessons here on YouTube about people who I wanted to help, people who I wanted to collaborate with. And as soon as you start getting to a certain level, they start feeling some type of way and doing crazy things. And that's why I'm like, you know what? Let me say to myself, even outside of YouTube, real life YouTube, all that stuff, like all this stuff is connected. And that's why I like journaling and writing stuff down, because I realize the difference between your work environment, your friend environment, your high school environment. If you create content on YouTube, the YouTube environment, a lot of these people in these variables, they act the same and they repeat themselves. So it's like, oh, okay, I thought it was different on YouTube because I was naive and I was gullible. No, it's not. It absolutely is not. So watch your back and keep your head on the swivel. And that's not the fear monger. It's a means of really protecting yourself. Okay. Look, y'all, make sure you subscribe and thumbs up or down. Either way, I appreciate it. But make sure y'all hit that notification bell if you haven't already. And even if you have already hit the notification bell, you might want to hit it again. There are a lot of people telling me that they're not getting notifications for the videos when they're going out. And that sucks. That sucks. That some of you all aren't getting the notifications. So you might want to unhit the bell and then hit it again and turn your notifications to all to make sure you get everything. But look, y'all know things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life. I want y'all to stay beautiful, stay black, and stay blessed until the next video. I'm going to see you all this weekend. I'll see some of you on the backup channel if you're subscribed. I'll see my members only on the members only. We do have the what is the series called? Struggles of a Content Creator, as a series that we will have starting this weekend on members only. And I'm so excited about that because I do truly enjoy helping out other content creators and allowing other content creators to help me out as well. Just because I have over 10 years worth of knowledge doesn't mean that if I'm helping somebody out, they don't have some information that could help me better myself as a content creator as well. So I'm excited to have some of these organic conversations behind the scenes with content creators. And there's a lot. I don't want to say too much here, but for the channel members, because I've been talking about this series, Struggles of a Content Creator. So if you are interested in YouTube, creating content, mentorship, whatever the case is, I do recommend you join the membership and join the top tier, because that's where all of the YouTube 101 stuff is going to take place, where we'll have the series of Struggles of a Content Creator, but also me doing videos without other content creators and just myself, really pouring that knowledge into you all as far as what I've learned and how to be successful up in this piece. Okay. So if if you already have a channel, or if you're thinking about starting a channel, join the membership. You'll get some YouTube 101 information. I'm getting off of here. I'm going to enjoy my dinner. I see a lot of y'all saying enjoy y'all dinner. And I am. Okay, I'm going to get off here and enjoy my libations. Plural, okay? Princess, DM me so that we can talk. All right? Yeah, Famecom Network. Yeah, your schedule is a problem. We're going to fight. We're going to fight based off of your problem. Let me show y'all this picture real quick. Real quick before I go. Because somebody put it in the Discord about Leo. About Leo looking like he plotting. He do look like he plotting. Like, what is going on? Look at Leo. Like, what is he back there thinking about? Like, what is Leo back here doing? Like, what is this? What is he back here thinking about doing? Like, what is he trying to attack? Y'all screenshots crack me up when y'all send me screenshots when I'm live. I love it so much. But anyway, thank y'all so much for coming along. Oh, you know what? Matter of fact, I might as well just go ahead and show the cat one more time. Leo, you want a treat? Come on. Come on. The people want to see. You need to come up here. Come up here. Wait, no, but wait. Can you? We need to can we move the location up? Look at him. Oh, he said, move your hand towards me, Mom. Hold on, Leo. Oh, damn. I wanted you to lift up and show the people your willingness to lift up. Come on. But the camera, you gonna just take the food and at least say hi to the people, because that's the whole point. But the people want to see what you got going on, and they don't want to see your butt. That's what you're going to do. All right. Can you get down? Can you get down, please? Can you get down? Leo, get down. This cat puts me through a lot, you guys. He puts me through a lot. See, y'all light up more when he come around than me, and I'm sick of y'all. I'm sick of y'all that love the cat more than y'all love me. Leo, can you at least say hello? Say these people. Leo, say hello. Say hello. You don't care unless it's a treat attached. You're terrible. This is terrible what you got going on. The people see? You see? All right. Goodbye. All right. It's too much. Oh, look, here's a little piece of treat. Look, you missed a piece. It's a piece right here. You missed it. It's right here. All right. That's it. Your cameo is over. I'm supposed to be the star of the show. Excuse me. Can you get down? Thank you. Can you get down? You try and steal the show. I need you to stop it.
But you're not. Stop it! I have never in my life yelled at a girl like this.
When my mother yells at this, it's because she loves me. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Learn something from this. You go to bed at night, you lay there, you take responsibility for yourself.
That's what it is. Wait till we get a white chair and the people can see you. Because you sitting here and they can't see. Because you black and the chair is black. Wait till they can see what's going on. Bye, you guys. Y'all say beautiful, black, and blessed. Look, when it gets late, I get a little tired. I get a little delusional. Okay? We gonna go. Leo gonna stop bothering me. Y'all say beautiful, black, and blessed. Drop some pancakes down below. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. Somebody said, are you going live again? I don't think I have what it takes to go live again. I could go live again on the backup channel, but I wouldn't be able to give you my best shot. I'd be sleepy. And sometimes or later it get the closer I am to cussing somebody out. It's not best that I go live again. So deuces. Y'all have an amazing evening, an amazing weekend, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay? Stay beautiful, black, and blessed. All right.
But that's it. If you want to catch more of my commentary on Black culture or vital and trending information, be sure to subscribe by hitting that little circle in the middle of the screen, or I'll catch you in one of these rectangles to the right in another video. I'll see you there.